îmbunătățești, pur și simplu arată nașpa și n-ar trebui să o mai faceți. Oribil. Bineînțeles, asta e casa începătorului, Dirt House-ul, toată lumea cred că eu sincer și decid pur și simplu eu prima dată
Oh, da! Quick match play battle.
și by the way, prefer casa asta decât casa asta. Ei bine, am ajuns la o casă de lemn.
Oh no! Oh no!
bine puțin mai încet.
Mario's back in a new adventure. He has new friends with special abilities. Now, there's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide. For here comes Yoshi. And he's up against Goombas, Groovers, Bunnies, and Piranha Plants in the Nintendo's new snack and sandwich puzzle game called Yoshi. Match the creatures and wipe them out. Play alone or with a friend. But Mixer and you stand a chance. Each challenge needs overwhelming. Hey, Yoshi! It's Yoshi, the new puzzle game for Game Boy or NES. Now, play with power.
Nu rog să nu faci. Ma.
No. There. 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 Relax. Whoa. Whoa. Wow. Namuri.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back. So, the release of the Nintendo Switch is right around the corner, and I wanted to talk about a game that I wish goes through some major changes. And since you already clicked on the video, I'm pretty sure you know which series I'm talking about. And yes, it's the Super Smash Bros. Series. No, I'm just kidding. I'm talking about the Mario Party series. Mario Party 9 and Mario Party 10 completely destroyed me physically and mentally. That game was just so horrible. I actually have a live reaction of what it was like to play that game at launch, and here it is. So the Mario Party series has stepped away from its roots and added many unnecessary features, and it has taken away many key features that made the game extremely fun and enjoyable. When I say that Mario Party 10 was awful, I mean it. I played it today just to have a clip for this video and it was horrendous. Nintendo had a chance to do something amazing with it, but sadly they flushed this game down the toilet and burned their loyal fan base, myself included. I cannot stop feeling burned from this game. I bought the Amiibo bundle for like $75 back at launch, thinking that Nintendo was going to step away from what they did in Mario Party 9, but sadly I was mistaken. In Mario Party 9 and 10, Nintendo replaced the series' original mechanic. You are now forced to travel with the same people you are battling in some type of car. You can no longer roam freely and explore the party. This takes away so much from the original experience because whenever someone rolls the dice, consequences affect everyone instead of just affecting the person who caused it. Also, with the new dice clock, you can only move a maximum of 6 spaces, and the currency has been swapped for these purple mini stars. You no longer battle for points, which kind of sucks, but I really don't mind that. What really bothers me is that the objective is no longer to get golden stars that you can purchase with your in-game currency, but it is now to work together once in a while in order to defeat bosses. Even the soundtrack is bad. Mario Party has always been known to have exceptional instrumentals, but in Mario Party 10, the soundtracks are just plain and sound like they just belong in another game. Here's what I'm talking about. You see what I'm talking about? Now listen to this Mario Party classic. See, you can clearly hear the difference. You know which one was half-assed. Overall, the series has been taken to a direction that is just plain bad, with an exception with a handful of minigames. Just seeing what the series is becoming is actually very disappointing to me because I grew up playing Mario Party 1 through 6 on a daily basis with all of my friends. And yes, I am now reaching that part of the video of the direction that the unannounced Mario Party 11 should take. Okay, so that's enough of this game as the background. Much better. So Mario Party 3. I really hope Nintendo comes back to their roots. I want them to bring back the days where you just follow the computer because you know they were making all the right moves, but they were set to a very hard difficulty. I also would love if Nintendo would bring back mandatory minigames after everyone has had their turn. Also, Nintendo, please give us the real battle games back. I want to return to the gameplay where the winner snatches everyone's currency and becomes a god. Also, return to making unique maps and themes where certain actions happen only in that map. And for the love of God, please no more cards. Let us explore individually. Nintendo, so basically what you need to do is get all the fun ideas that you put into Mario Party 1 through 8 and slam them into one Super Mario Party game. I don't think my life has enough energy to live through another Mario Party game that is similar to 9 and 10. With that said, I do believe Nintendo has the ability to redeem themselves for the next Mario Party. I really hope they do, but for now we're just gonna have to wait and see. I want to thank you all for watching the entire video, and please let me know which Mario Party is your favorite. And please drop a comment and tell me what you would like to see in the next Mario Party. Until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching.
No?
The end of Minecraft. Lately I've been doing a lot of videos on the theoretical side of Minecraft, things that most of us may not ever or can't ever see in survival Minecraft. The PC world border is 30 million blocks away from the spawn. The Farlands and PC beta versions or modern Pocket Edition versions is 12.55 million blocks away. Do you know how long it would take to walk to the Farlands in the overworld? Kurt J. Mack began his world record expedition to the Farlands for Child's Play charity on my 21st birthday, March 28, 2011. I'm almost 27 years old now, and to date, he's covered just over 3 million blocks. Okay, sure. If you played every waking hour of every day, you might be able to do it in like a year or so. But what if I told you that in modern versions of Minecraft, you can reach the PC world border in Minecraft Java 1.11 purely in survival Minecraft after gathering the right supplies in about 1 minute? Yeah, you heard me right. Let's check it out. glitch that I'm about to show you has existed in Minecraft Java since at least version 1.9 or for about 11 months or so. However, it was only recently discovered by YouTube user RayWorks back in October and was brought to my attention by Reddit user Half of a Kebab. I'll have links in the description below for the original posts. Definitely give RayWorks a shout out though. To my knowledge, this glitch works on Minecraft single player and Minecraft Realm servers. So anyways, let's check out the glitch. What you'll need to make this happen is a stack or two of obsidian, a flint and steel, and a stack or two of ender pearls. You'll also have to perform the nether ceiling glitch using minecarts to get on top of the nether ceiling itself. Now all you have to do is run somewhere over 32 blocks away from 0 on the X and Z axis or so, plop down a nether portal, hop into it, face straight down, throw an ender pearl, and hop out of the portal before you wind up teleporting. After a couple seconds, you'll be teleported to a location that is 8 times the position you were in before. So if you threw the ender pearl at 100x and 100z, expect to appear at 800x and 800z. And of course, if you throw the next pearl at 800x and 800z, you'll appear at 6400x and 6400z. If you rinse and repeat, next up is 51,200. Then 409,600, then 3,276,800, and finally 26,214,400. And of course, when you exit the nether, your location is multiplied by 8 again. If you attempt to leave the nether in a location where you will appear beyond the world border, your nether portal will instead appear in the overworld about 150 blocks away from the world border or so. And that really is all there is to it. If you already have nether portal set up, you can make the entire trek in just under a minute. So yeah. Again, I want to give major props to RayWorks for finding this glitch. Even if you're not quite traveling the speed of light, it's more than 0.2% the speed of light, and that's really impressive. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like on it. It really help out myself, the channel, and the video quite a lot. But anyways guys, I hope you all enjoyed. My name is Ant Venom, and I bid you all farewell. Thanks so much for watching. Minecraft Villages. Released with beta version 1.8, villages very quickly became a staple of Minecraft's history. Villagers were the first non-playable character that you could properly interact with. And no, shearing a sheep doesn't count as an interaction, guys. Villagers themselves have always been pretty weird, and paramount to that weirdness is where these villages are ultimately placed sometimes. Now I know that these villages are just segments of code that sometimes occur in slightly unconventional places, but I'd like...
Son of a bitch. Super Mario Brothers 2, or should that be Doki Doki Panic? Now I've given a lot of love to the original Mario Brothers classics, but this one I always kind of skipped over. It's not the most broken Mario game ever, but it does have some interesting glitches. So let's kick things off with the first glitch, which is one of the most simple in the game. While running along the ground, if you jump just before you touch an enemy, there's another opportunity to jump whilst in the air. So essentially, this is a double jump, and it's quite useful in certain places. This glitch is easiest done with Luigi for some reason, but you can do it with other characters. However, most of the time I just ended up getting hurt anytime I tried it with Mario, Peach, or Toad. Well, I guess I still got the double jump, so yay me. Mario and his friends aren't the only things that like to jump around in this game, oh no. Grab a power block and then head for the waterfalls with the falling logs. Now throw the power block and then stand on one of the falling logs while the screen is still shaking. For some reason now the log will start rising into the air and despawn once it leaves the screen. I've got no idea why this happens, but it's hilarious to watch. But there's something similar to this that you can do with enemies that's even funnier. It's pretty tricky, but it's worth it. If you can manage to throw an enemy into another enemy that's already upside down having been thrown already, well, that's confusing. When the two enemies collide, this will happen. It's like they peacefully ascend to some kind of Shy Guy heaven. Like I said, it's pretty tricky to pull off, but definitely worth it. Have you ever seen this Pokey wandering around in World 2-2? And did you know he is magic? Or at least he can bend the laws of physics. I don't know how he does it, but just watch. The Pokey enemies will follow the player wherever they go, so if you start backtracking towards the beginning of the stage, you're gonna see some pretty crazy stuff. Like the fact that Pokey can cross any gap, no matter if it's 2 feet in the air or 5 feet in the air, this guy will float over anything. Well, you're not gonna have much luck trying to catch me up there, Pokey. I'm over here, and now I'm over here. There's a Pokey in the wall, there's a Pokey in the wall. Slow Pokey. Here's a pretty dumb glitch that involves the bomb enemies that grow in the ground. In World 3-3, go through this door and then pick up this hidden power block. Now throw it at these enemies and at the same time pull out the hidden bomb in the ground. The power block will then kill off this bomb enemy just as you'd kind of expect. However, if you now leave through a door, the bomb will have a delayed reaction, and you'll suddenly take damage for apparently no reason. What's happening here is the power block is overriding any effect the bomb might have had, but the game then stores that until you leave that room. It's kind of strange, but also pretty funny. Here's another completely useless, but equally amusing glitch. Find a hidden potion in a stage like I did in World 1-1 and then take it to a patch of grass. Now go through the red door that just appeared and then go back out of it. And as you do this, mash the B button, and if you mash it at just the right time, your character should have their arms down, but there's an item held on their heads. Now, apart from looking like a nice decorative item or some kind of weird hat, this item isn't actually real. This means while you have this fake item held above your heads, you can now pick up a real item and essentially be carrying 2 items at the same time. However, if you're hit by an enemy or go through a door, this fake item will become real. Or you can just run around pretending it's a weird hat. I mean, I thought it was cool. Here's a glitch that I personally encountered that I've never seen documented anywhere else. Or if it's even a glitch at all. In World 3-2, I beat Birdo and then picked up the magic orb, which then supposedly ends the mini-boss. However, for some reason, I ended up going right instead of going left to head to the exit of the stage, and then Birdo reappeared. Now, I'm pretty sure this is a glitch, as it never happens anywhere else in the game that I'm aware of, and you can basically understand my confusion when it happened. Well, I'm just gonna leave now, and I'm taking my mushroom with me. The ladders in this game are pretty weird. There's some very odd things you can do with them. Take this ladder in World 3-3, for instance. If you get on the edge of this ledge and press down for a brief second and then jump, at the peak of your jump, try and grab the ladder. I'd recommend trying this with Peach, as it's easier because of how she hovers. If you do this in just the right way, Peach's body will be pushed through the ceiling and you'll actually end up on the next screen of the game. And if you keep holding up, Peach will show us her moves. Sassy! But we can take these crazy ladder shenanigans a step further. For every 4 large vegetables you dig up out of the ground, you'll receive a stopwatch. This item briefly freezes time and means you can pick up enemies and they'll fall through the ground as if they're already dead. Knowing this, if we pick up an enemy and throw them at the base of a ladder just as the stopwatch ends, they'll get stuck in the ground just at the bottom of the ladder. Oh, Shy Guy, you okay there? You seem a little conflicted. Naturally, this is going to take more than a couple of attempts, but it is very possible. It's all about timing. With an enemy now stuck in the ground, if we jump on top of them so we're slightly in the ground, we'll be able to pick them up. We can now just throw them away and then head down the ladder, and this will take us to another screen. Now, I performed this glitch in World 1-2, but it's now warped me to World 1-1. Crazy, right? Oh, and also, I'm kind of stuck in the wall. To avoid getting stuck in the wall, just make sure when you transition a screen to keep holding either up or down, and then you can move either left or right whilst inside the wall. You can do exactly the same thing in World 1-1, and then that will transport you to the very first screen of the game, and if you keep holding up as you transition, Mario will be stuck in the sky doing this. I mean, I don't know what you're trying to do, but I'm pretty sure you're doing it wrong. An extreme case of this kind of wrong warping can be seen in World 3-1. Make it to this part of the world where you'll see a very annoying Panzer enemy going back and forth, and I'd recommend getting rid of this guy before trying this glitch. There are a ton of large vegetables in the lower area, so dig up 4, and then the 5th one will be a stopwatch. Now quickly head up the ladder, grab the Shy Guy, and stand exactly here. The timing is very tricky on this one, but if you do it just right, the Shy Guy will land inside the floor just at the base of the ladder. Once again, jump up and down on the Shy Guy until you're slightly in the floor, and then you can pick him up. Now throw the Shy Guy away, and then head down the ladder, and this will warp you to World 1-2. Well, it looks like World 1-2, but the game still considers you in World 3-1. And from here on, things get pretty strange. For instance, if you go down here, when you load into the next room, you'll just fall through the floor and die. Well, how about that? And now we're in World 3-Square, because that's a real thing. So, the question is, what happens when we try to complete World 3-Square, or rather World 1-2, while we're inside this glitch? Well, when we're done throwing exit photo space and we exit the world, we don't get sent to the bonus like we would usually, we just get straight up sent to the next world. Okay, that's slightly confusing, but let's just carry on. Now in this world, which is 1-3, there's a warp that will send us to World 4. However, this game ain't playing by those rules anymore, and this warp will now send us to World 5. I think I've confused the game enough. Let's move on. There's a strange kind of health underflow glitch that you can trigger in World 4. What you need to do is dig up the rocket and then press start as the rocket animation is in play. On a second controller, you need to press up and then A and B together. Now when you unpause with the first controller, you'll see that all your health is gone. Mario is now able to run around with no health, which means, does that make him a zombie? Pretty sure that makes him a zombie. If you now collect any extra hearts, you'll go up in health, but Mario will remain small. And if you don't collect any hearts at all, you'll die on the next hit. Ultimately, it's a pretty useless glitch, but fun to mess around with nonetheless. Using that second controller up and A and B thing, we can do something else which is pretty useless, but ultimately, nah, it's pretty useless. Go inside any red door in the game and then press start to pause the game. Again, on the second controller, press up and then A and B together and then unpause using the first controller. This will get rid of all your health and then you'll die. But this also means that every time you respawn into the stage, you'll die again, and again, and again, until you game over. I told you it was pointless. It's fun to watch Mario die again and again and again, maybe. And that about wraps it up for glitches in Super Mario Bros. 2. A lot of these are super simple to set up, so go have fun playing with the glitches in Super Mario Bros. 2. And if you like this episode, why not check out the rest of the series featuring a ton of Mario games? You can click that playlist there for more. Son of a bitch. Super Mario Land 2. This Game Boy classic is easily one of the most memorable handheld platformers, and surprisingly, it's still a lot of fun. But with that fun comes a ton of interesting and game-breaking glitches, something we've come to expect from the earliest of Mario games. So let's kick things off with a simple glitch known as the level completion glitch. When you first begin the game, you'll see this file select screen with a new game showing 00, indicating that no stages have been completed. For this glitch, all you need to do is complete the level by ringing the bell, which will send you into a crane game bonus stage. Here, all we need to do is win, which is easy when you just mash the A button as soon as the game begins, and you'll always win the magic carrot. Then you'll get the power up, and when Mario starts to leave the screen, quickly reset the game. Now start the game back up again, and then you'll see the title screen, which then goes onto the file select screen. The first thing to note is that the levels complete is now set to 1, meaning everything you did counted as that level being complete. Except when you start that file up, you'll see that we can play the first stage of the game again, something that's not possible once it's finished usually. But we can take this further if we complete the stage a few more times, like maybe 20, and we're still able to play the first stage. The game is also saving coins we've collected, enemies we've squashed, and how many lives we currently have. Now, anybody who's played this game all the way through will know that there are only 31 stages in the game altogether. But doing this glitch 32 times will now show 32 on the file select screen. Or maybe 40? How about 50? Naturally, I wanted to see what would happen if we did this glitch 100 times, because that's the kind of curious guy I am. So let's play a little game. Pause the episode here, and in the comments, write what you think will happen when I do this glitch 100 times. Will it say 100 on the file select, or will it simply revert back to 00? And yes, I did do this 100 times, and yes, I realize I'm wasting my life. Okay, so those of you who thought it would go back to 00, give yourselves a pat on the back. back. And those of you who thought it would say 100, I feel your disappointment. I was kinda hoping it will be all glitchy, but nah. Let's move on before we dwell on it anymore, and check out a glitch which also takes place in the first stage of the game. What we need to do is grab a Koopa shell and take it all the way to the end of the stage as Small Mario. Still holding it, jump at the bell and then release the B button when Mario is just about to enter the goal. This will kill Mario, but he'll end the stage and now you'll be playing the crane game. Next, we need to make sure we win a magic carrot, as this will help us glitch the game. Despite technically finishing the first stage, we'll now be able to play it again, most likely because the game also counts that death by Koopa shell. However, this time we'll have the bunny ears, even though a magic carrot power-up doesn't appear in this stage. And here's where they come in handy, as what we're going to do is jump over the bell and the ears will help us reach a ledge we wouldn't normally be able to reach. If you jump now, the screen will go beyond its usual restrictions, and then you'll need to hold down on the D-pad to realign it. But you can also jump and glide down slowly to really mess up the screen. Mario will now end up just under the goal, but the ground is no longer solid, meaning you can go right through it to reach other parts of the stage. You'll even make some sprite tiles disappear once you reach this underground room. Man, stage 1 and we've already broken the game so much. I bet you're wondering what else is broken. Well, here's a funny glitch in the first stage of Tree Zone. These frog enemies will always go towards Mario if he's close enough. And knowing this, we can get them to come down into this area, and here's where things get glitchy. If they hop around long enough, eventually they'll land in the small tunnels and try to hop some more. Naturally, this isn't enough space for these frogs, and, well, you okay there, Froggy? You seem a bit, whatever you call this. Tell you what, you're probably pretty embarrassed, so I'll just, leave. Let's head to the overworld map now, and here, pressing and holding B lets you scroll over the entire map so we can see things. But this opens itself up to a mildly amusing glitch that occurs when we go to see this giant turtle and enter the turtle zone. Hey, there's a whale inside this thing. How big must this turtle be? Anyway, once here, leave and go back to the overworld map and press and hold B to begin scrolling. Now go to any part of the map and then press the A button and you'll enter the turtle from that point, which looks kind of strange depending on where you do this. Listen, I'm gonna level with you. I tried to make it look like Mario was entering the turtle's butt, and this was the best I could do. Don't judge, we'll just pretend that didn't happen. Like most games, if you leave the game sitting idle on the title screen, you'll see a demo of the game playing until you press something. Now I know what you're thinking, how did you segue into this from Turtle Butts? I didn't. On the title screen, if you press certain button combinations, you'll be able to play those demos. So for instance, pressing up and select together will take you to the first stage demo, up A and select together will take you to the hippo stage, up B and select is the first stage of the turtle zone, and finally, up A, B and select is the first stage of the The game records your button inputs now instead of the pre-recorded inputs. Once these input slots are completely filled, the game freezes. But if you manage to beat one of these stages within a set amount of button inputs, the game will save your progression over the first file slot. So that's pretty cool, but bear in mind, this demo glitch only works in version 1.0 of the game. Don't you just love it in Mario games where you can slide through walls? Isn't it the best? Well, Super Mario Land 2 is no exception, and you can do this in a number of ways. Firstly, in Pumpkin Zone Stage 2, after the room with the booze, you'll go through this pipe to end up in this room full of blocks. Here, simply spin jump on this block in the first row and then into the pipe to the left. Now Mario will go for a slide through the walls, all the way back to the pipe that led to the water section below. Or in the boss stage of Macro Zone, son of a bitch. Mario and Luigi Paper Jam. Yet another adventure for the Mario Brothers, and this time they're joined by Paper Mario. And also a ton of game-breaking, story-skipping, out-of-bound clipping glitches. So let's kick things off with a glitch that allows you to reach Gloomy Woods early. To do this, we'll first need the dash socks, and then we need to head to these rocks in Sunbeam Plains. In the rocks that we can clip into by dashing and jumping. Hold up and slightly left on the circle pad, press X to jump and move to the right whilst in the air. This should clip Mario into the small rock on the right, and then you need to move up and to the left. You now need to repeat the same steps to clip Luigi and Paper Mario through the rock. This can be a bit fiddly, but it's very easy once you get Mario through. Once Paper Mario is inside the rock, you need to head right and out to the other side. You'll now be in an area which can only be reached by using the trio grab, which is received later in the game. From here, we can get to woods by heading north. When we enter the woods, a cutscene will play as it normally would, but without Trio Grab and Trio Hammer, you won't be able to progress at all once it's over. But there is one strange thing you can do whilst here. Head back to the level 2 info center and begin a challenge. The 2 mission you're able to do here, but once you do it, suddenly play. So complete them and then switch to level 2 at the desk once again. Doing this will bring up a text box in Japanese, which roughly translates as, "It looks like the toad isn't here at the moment, please try checking other areas." It's pretty cool to see this in an English language release, as it's something the developers never intended you to see. Another way to get to Gloomy Woods early is made possible by this rock next to a heart block. Run up against it, holding upright on the circle pad, followed by holding up left on this corner, and Mario is able to get a couple of pixels inside the rock. Keep moving left around the rock while being pressed against it, and here's where you can use Trio Grab to get everyone inside the rock and get out of bounds. You can then cancel Trio Grab, and now you'll need to use the map on the bottom screen to navigate your way to the load zone on these woods. Once you get onto solid ground again, simply step into the load zone and you'll be taken to West Gloomy Woods way earlier than intended. Doing this without Trio Grab is possible, but you won't be able to get very far, as it's needed in a few key places to progress. In fact, you can get out of bounds with just Mario and Luigi by using the exact same method of clipping into the rock. The only thing is, when you enter Gloomy Woods, the game will crash when it tries to play a cutscene without Paper Mario being present. Gloomy Woods is full of some very interesting glitches, but for now, let's head to Doo Doo Doo. Just after you learn Trio Hammer, you can get out of bounds using this rock next to the ledge. Similar to the West Gloomy Woods early clip, you have to get in this corner on the left and wiggle your way into it so that Mario is closer to the rock. Now go to the right around the rock towards the wall and then back again to the left into the corner. You need to keep holding up and to the left until Mario pops up onto the ledge and then drop down and go around the rock to the Luigi. Hold up left on the circle pad until Luigi pops up onto the ledge also, and now do the same thing to get Paper Mario to clip through the rock too. Eventually, once all 3 are inside the rocks, you'll be able to go through the wall and arrive at the map. Again, from here you'll be using the map on the bottom screen to navigate your way to the later part of Doo Doo Dunes, which skips a boss fight, some toad missions, and the grotto. You'll need to make sure you stay clear of the load zones while out of bounds to avoid getting stuck, and then you can simply run through this wall to carry on beyond the bridge with the monkeys on without even fighting. This is a really cool speedrun trick that saves a bunch of time, and it's really easy once you get the idea. Moving on to 20 Tropics Dungeon, and there's a really simple out-of-bounds shortcut that you can exploit that will leave you saying, how did they miss that one? Firstly, you'll need to have Trio Grab, which you learn within this part of the game. Then, in this part of the dungeon, you'll see there's no way to run or jump off this ledge. That is, until you run in the very corners, switching between up and right on the circle.
Wow. Entusiasmosa, cara.
Circle pad until Mario goes slightly off the edge. Run to the opposite corner of the ledge and back again, and now you'll see Mario is kind of floating off the edge completely. Next, you'll need to use Trio Grab to get both Luigi and Paper Mario out of bounds, and then you can simply run over to the platform on the other side, creating a shortcut. Heading north will take you to a cutscene where you get battle cards, and once that's over with, we can move on to yet another out of bounds glitch. In this area is a torch you can actually use to clip out of bounds. Run against the corner of the torch like this, and then flick the circle pad up once and up left twice. Now move around to the side of the torch facing the camera while remaining close to it, and then move inside the torch. Use Trio Grab to get Luigi and Paper Mario stacked inside the torch too, and then hold up left on the circle pad till they fall down into the floor. Now simply press the Y button to use Trio Grab, and this should put them all firmly out of bounds. Now go through the pipe and you'll arrive in Twinsy Tropics, having skipped the Roy and Wendy boss fight. Now that we're here in Twinsy Tropics, the skips just keep on coming. I don't know if you've been taking notes, but this game is pretty broken. So this toad needs to build a papercraft boat for whatever reason, but this next glitch out of bounds will skip that entirely. Once you've made your way through Twinsy Tropics up until this point here, you can run into this corner of these rocks. Seriously, the rocks in this game, they're anything but solid.
Run and then wiggle the circle pad into the corner and then move down to the right to get in between these two rocks until Mario is kind of floating off the edge again. Activate trio grab and then move up right until they all drop to the floor and then press the Y button. This will put them fully out of bounds and able to cross the water, so now you can make your way around the islands to head north, where you can reach this island with the bridge connecting to Doop Doop Dunes. Entering Doop Doop Dunes this way means certain things that should be loaded like extra platforms don't appear, but the collision for them is always loaded, so you're able to run across seemingly invisible floors. From here you'd be able to get to the Toad Village and a warp pipe, but it also means you skip a ton of things in the game like numerous cutscenes, getting Trio Plane, and a boss fight with Paper PT Piranha. Well, seeing as we've come this far, we may as well continue breaking the game some more. Now is a good time to head to Gloomy Woods using the glitch from earlier, and seeing as we have trio grab this time, we can see just how broken this part of the game is. Firstly, we can clip out of bounds after the initial cutscene using this tree. Get in trio grab formation and then approach the tree from holding upright on the circle pad. When you reach the huge leaf, switch to up left and you'll see that you jolt forward slightly. At this point, you need to quickly hold up right again to clip inside the tree. Once inside the tree, you can use trio grab to break through its walls and out of bounds. From here, head right to a ledge where you need to grab a bridge, and this is important. You'll need to do this, otherwise you won't be able to exit Gloomy Woods later. Next, make sure to cancel out of trio grab and go and watch a cutscene with Starlo in a bush, and things are about to get pretty weird. Usually, this cutscene is played out when King Boo has kidnapped both Marios, but we've kinda skipped that. This is why the game doesn't really know what to do with them, so they just kinda stand there not really doing anything. Another side effect of this is that Luigi will have his scared walking animation whilst both Marios are clearly running. If you press X, both Marios will jump, but Luigi will disappear. Anyway, from here we can do some more clipping through things, and this next one is really simple. Just like the clip out of bounds in Twinsy Tropics Dungeon, you need to run in this corner of the tree, constantly switching direction. You'd be surprised how easy it is for Mario to clip through the tree entirely. Once Mario is through, again use trio grab, and then you're able to run out to the other side. From here, you want to head north to the next area, and you'll want to pull out the bridge to reach the tunnel. Up this slope is a spider web with a block that only Paper Mario can activate. Hit the block and then a short cutscene will play out where the gates open to give access to the rest of Gloomy Woods. And here the camera will lock in place, but now you'll have control of just Luigi. You'll need to use the bottom screen map to navigate Luigi back down the slope, over the bridge, and head south towards the first section of Gloomy Woods. When we arrive, the game will revert back to a somewhat normal state where Luigi moves at around 2 miles an hour, which is nice. Now we're going back to where the Starlo cutscene played out and to the bridge we pulled out earlier. This is why it was so important that we pulled it out, otherwise we'd be stuck here without the 2 Marios. That was some pretty broken stuff, but doing all that skips the rampaging Wiggler boss and all of West Gloomy Woods. We can now go on to the Toad Village in Gloomy Woods, and more importantly, the Lakitu Info Center. By speaking to Lakitu behind the desk, we can try to enter a Toad mission, but cancel out of the menu by pressing B. Now the game will think we exited the Toad menus normally, which means surely the Marios must be with us, right? They'll be placed weirdly in the room, but we can easily hold up on the circle pad and jump down to leave like nothing even happened. Outside, we can use the green pipe to send us to North Gloomy Woods, and then on the other end, you'll find Flutter, who can take you to Mount Burr. Let's rewind for a second though, back to the Starlo cutscene in Gloomy Woods. Accessing the cutscene in this way can open itself up to some pretty funny glitches. After the cutscene's over, by entering a load zone for other areas whilst in trio grab, you can get some pretty funky results. But bear in mind, if you enter another area whilst in trio grab and press any of the jump buttons, the game is prone to crash. To see some of the weirder effects, you'll have to do a fairly tricky clip out of bounds at this point here. Just keep switching from up right to up left on the circle pad and you'll eventually clip off the edge. Doing this will get you to another area beyond the tunnel. You have to do this because the tunnel won't let you through while in trio grab, and jumping out of it will make the game crash. Now head north into some other areas and this will happen. Mario, you're not looking so good, dude. Other glitchy results are easier to pull off, just enter different areas while in trio grab. You can get Mario to disappear completely, or if you go too far right here, a cutscene will begin and the game will soft lock with both Marios stuck in the air. Once the Starlo cutscene ends, go back to the bridge we needed to pull out and then pull out the next one on the left. Now make your way back to the entrance to West Gloomy Woods, heading to Sunbeam Plains. Before you go through the load zone, use trio grab and now go on through.
Now if you press the A button to get out of Trio Grab, Luigi will turn into another Mario. Okay, that's pretty strange. This Mario can even jump, but it just looks so wrong. In this state, pressing X will crash the game, and depending on where you jump out of Trio Grab in Sunbeam Plains, that may also crash the game. You'll always keep this weird state as long as you go through any load zone in Trio Grab. And you can get Luigi to transform into many different characters depending on what to load in that area. For instance, you can do the Gloomy Woods early flip whilst in Trio Grab, which is actually pretty difficult but not impossible. Once you're through, head to Gloomy Woods Toad Village and then you'll be confronted by this huge platform blocking the way. It's a good job the collision detection in this game is amazingly wonky, so you can just wiggle into the corner to get out of bounds. Now go all the way around Toad Village while out of bounds and then enter one of the houses from the back. You'll end up inside the house and in Trio Grab, so jump out of it and Luigi is now a green toad and you can even make him jump. Can I just say, I love how broken this game is. I can have a green toad that jumps. Before we leave Gloomy Woods altogether, there's something else we can mess with in this part of the game. Jump in the green pipe and head to North Gloomy Woods. Head south and you'll enter a cutscene from the wrong side, and we're now able to move around while the cutscene plays. By heading back through the load zone holding the R button, we can store the fast forward ability that all cutscenes have and use it outside of a cutscene. This also plays havoc with Mario, Luigi, and Paper Mario's sprites, like where is the rest of Paper Mario's head? The music from the cutscene is also still playing over the top of the Gloomy Woods music, which is a real treat for the ears. This effect can be carried over to Mount Burn, where you can really mess with their sprites. I got Mario and Luigi doing this, I got them doing the Running Man, a bit of moonwalk action, and this is just too much fun. Sadly, the glitch ends once they hit the ice and everything's back to normal. Now we're here in Mount Burn, we can easily clip out of bounds using the corner of this wall by a green pipe. Up against the edge of the carved platform in the corner where it meets the stone wall, hold to the right until you can clearly
La
see Mario
doua.
inside them.
Sau la
You know
4.
the deal by now. Use Trio Grab
Sau la ora 4.
You
La.
can now run across this huge
Doua.
Da.
this lets you reach the tunnel section
Da.
early before someone puts up a ton of new glitches. By entering the tunnel load zone like so, we skip the cutscene on the other side of the entrance. What we'll be doing next is called the walkthrough pause. Switch to Mario's hammer and then go back through the entrance to the tunnel. Immediately begin pressing A to get through Starlow's text and stop briefly once Luigi begins speaking. This is to avoid getting stuck in a weird way during the cutscene. When Mario moves and then stops, immediately use Trio Grab. If you do all this correctly, use Trio Grab and you'll now be able to walk through anywhere. Now besides the obviously hilarious broken nature of the glitch, it also plays a huge role in speedrunning this part of the game. Once you've activated the glitch, cancel out Trio Grab and head to the load zone for the tunnel as you did before. The walkthrough walls glitch is still active and can be used extensively to reach King Kong in a ridiculously small amount of time. By going into Trio Grab and cancelling within a wall, Mario will be walked to a higher location. This is used here to skip a trio plane section, which if you've been skipping everything in a speedrun, you wouldn't actually have trio plane. To reach the lower section, you need to go off the edge and cancel out Trio Grab, and this will place Mario on the ground with Luigi and Paper Mario close by. And now you can just go and hit the wall. Now we need to hammer the huge blue and red buttons, and you have to hammer the red one first, otherwise again, the game will crash, possibly because we've skipped so much. Then we can simply go on to fight King Kong, but by this point we've skipped so much, we'll be insanely underleveled. Although this boss is actually pretty simple once you get it down. The walkthrough pause glitch can also be activated in a different way much earlier in the game. In East Sunbeam Plains is a pen that only Paper Mario can get into, and on the far left wall, what a surprise, you can clip out of bounds. Get Paper Mario to stand roughly here and then tap up on the circle pad and then hold up and slightly left, and hopefully you'll see Paper Mario just barely clip through the top corner. Now tap down on the circle pad and you'll clip through the wall. From here, use the bottom screen map to guide Paper Mario into the house with the red roof. Once inside, save and then quit the game entirely and then start the game back up and open the file again. Now head back to the paper toad pen and you'll see that Mario and Luigi are nowhere to be found. Enter the pen as you did earlier, exit again, and suddenly you'll be walked into the house you stayed in. But you'll only have Mario and Luigi who are out of bounds off screen. Just hold up on the circle pad and jump and they'll be back on screen. Leave the house and now they'll be able to walk through any walls in the game. This would best be used to skip the Papercraft Goomba fight to enter Doop Doop Dunes early.
Even after this cutscene with Nabbit, the glitch is still in effect, so you'll just run through everything. But you can cancel the glitch by entering a crack in the wall with Paper Mario. This is possibly one of the most broken things in the game, with the amount of potential it has to skip things once it's active. Although there are many load zones that won't trigger with the glitch active, as it seems the game doesn't consider you grounded, so nothing happens. The glitch is also cancelled if you use a pipe or an elevator to another place. You can still use things like Trio Hammer and Trio Grab, but this can also have some weird effects. So hey, have fun messing around with one of the most broken glitches in the game. Here's another cool glitch you can do in a Twinsy Tropics Toad mission called Slide Storage. There are many points in the game where you're given the ability to slide, usually to catch something, and it's only given in certain situations. However, there's a way you can keep this ability in regular gameplay. In the mission Tropical Paper Toad Hunt, you can once again get out of bounds. On this edge, you can use Trio Grab to get beyond the collision if you get in just the right spot and move upwards. Once you get out of bounds, simply leave the screen by heading right. When you head back to where the mission took place, you can clearly see the game is in a state it would be outside of a Toad mission. But we now have a glitch known as Toad Storage, where the effects of being in a Toad mission are still in play outside of a mission. If we now head to the Lakitu Info Center and the arcade, choose and play any game and then lose quickly so the game saves at school. Now press the home button on the 3DS and close the game, then start the game back up again. Now when the game loads up, you'll be in the arcade and the slide has now been stored. This means you can use it wherever you want in the game. This glitch serves no real purpose, it's just another example of how broken this game is. But what's interesting is the ability to leave a Toad mission in an unconventional way, which leads to another huge game-breaking glitch. Neo Bowser Castle is very boss-heavy, but the Toad Storage glitch makes light work of all of it. This next glitch is best performed once you have the Cannon Bridge minigame in Neo Bowser Castle completed, so you're able to go up to the Kamek boss fight. With that taken care of, go to the Lakitu Info Center in Mount Burr and choose the mission Paper Toad Freezer. When the mission begins, go to the place where you can perform the out-of-bounds flip to reach the tunnel early. Here we can use Trio Drill to clip through the fence by drilling into the ground and then getting in just the right spot. Then jump out of the ground and Mario should be a lot closer to this wall than is usually possible. Now use Trio Grab as always and you'll be able to get everyone through the fence. We now need to make our way around to the other side of the Lakitu Info Center and then enter a load zone. This will cancel the Toad mission in the same way it did in Twinsy Tropics, and this now means we have Toad Storage. Next, we'll go back to Neo Bowser Castle and cross the bridge to head up and fight Kamek. The fight will begin like any other, but we're going to lose the fight on purpose, and once everyone's at 0 HP, the game over screen will appear as expected. Then we're prompted to retry or return to title screen. Choose return to title screen, and as if by magic, the fight will be over and the succeeding cutscene will play out, allowing you to move on with the story. The only downside of this is you won't receive any of the rewards associated with that fight. This is called the instant battle glitch, and it can be used on every enemy in the game, even the final boss with the Bowsers. All you have to do is lose, it's that simple. When you finish the game in this way, the credits roll as expected, but when they end, the game drops Mario, Luigi, and Paper Mario in the Lakitu Info Center where you initiated the glitch. You're not stuck here, however, as if you move left until the camera lines up with the middle of the room and then move downwards whilst continuously jumping, you'll be able to get them all back inside the room. The game can now be played as normal from here on out, but there are one or two strange side effects. If you return to Neo Bowser Castle and go to the final room of the game, the platform that takes you up to the Bowsers has moved on, and approaching it will crash the game as it tries to play a cutscene that's no longer there. Another effect instant battle glitch has is if you use it in a regular battle that doesn't lead to a cutscene, the game will exit the fight automatically and the screen will go black. By pausing and unpausing the game as soon as this happens, you get everything to reappear, with the exception of the ground and the walls of the current place you're in. The collision hitboxes for the walls are still there, however, so it's just the textures that haven't loaded correctly. Some other side effects of the Toad Storage glitch occur if you have it active when you watch this cutscene of the bridge section separating and the spikes appearing in their place. Once it's over, you can select info on the bottom screen and then cancel out of the mission. Doing this sends you back to the Lakitu Info Center. Now return to Neo Bowser Castle and make your way to the room with the bridge, and here's where things get weird. The bridge will now be in place, but it won't be solid, so you'll fall right through it. But it's now possible with a very precise use of trio plane to just about make it to the other side. If you make it to the other side, you can now use the platform to go and fight Kamek. This skips putting all the bridge sections back into place and the cannon minigame, and this whole thing was something I discovered completely by accident. We've seen a lot of glitches in this episode, and I would honestly consider Mario and Luigi Paper Jam to be one of the most broken games in recent
memory by 1. So there you have it, guys. Some fun and game-breaking glitches you can try out in Mario & Luigi Paper Jam. If you like Mario glitches, check out some other episodes like Super Mario 3D Land or Super Mario Galaxy. A huge thanks to Really Tall, Solidified Gaming, Nman36. Either way, this can award you an endless supply of lives. If you have a fire flower and a statue leaf with you, you can make Mario do this cool gliding glitch. As Fire Mario, jump up in the air as high as possible and then tap the statue leaf in the bottom screen. Now jump and press either the X or Y button to launch a fireball as you grab the statue leaf in the air. Immediately press and hold the jump button to watch Mario strangely glide through the air like this. And you should probably do this from a great height for added effect. Mario will appear to be falling, but effectively he'll be gliding. In World 2-1, stand around this part of the stage and you'll notice something weird going on with the real Goomba in the background. He'll randomly pop in and out of view as if there's some kind of draw distance problem. But these Goombas way back here are still visible, so it couldn't be draw distance. Well, whatever's going on with this Goomba, I'm pretty sure that's not right. In World 2-4, die 5 times until the white Tanuki suit appears at the beginning of the stage. Now grab the suit and then make your way to the baddie box here. If Mario jumps and then ground pounds the baddie box, the game will begin to lag heavily and you'll be treated to this glorious sound. If you press either the L or R buttons to make Mario crouch and you listen very closely, it almost sounds like the beanstalks that grow out of a box in Super Mario Bros. And this glitch can be stopped by simply stepping off the baddie box. In the World 2 airship, get to the bonus power-up airship and then stand to the left of this wall, but don't enter it. Next, press left on the D-pad to make the camera go left. Now wait until the wall box is just about to go off screen and then enter it. Mario will now lose a life in the wall box just as the camera tries to move to where Mario would have been sent. For some reason, when Mario or Luigi slide down a wall like this above a platform, the game handles their shadows strangely. The shadow will go down the wall, through the platform, and continue all the way down to the floor of the screen. It's minor, but it's definitely a graphical glitch. In World 3-2, Mario can clip out of bounds using this Cheep Cheep. Grab the mushroom behind the crates and then take a hit from the Cheep Cheep to become small. Now line up to where the Cheep Cheep turns around and then swim directly upwards. When the Cheep Cheep is under Mario, tap the mushroom in the bottom screen and then immediately pound the ground whilst holding up on the control stick. Mario will grow from the mushroom and bounce off the Cheep Cheep, which pushes him through the wall. Once out of bounds, it's very easy to swim too far away from the camera, which makes Mario lose a life. Also, it's incredibly easy to swim back inbounds, but it's possible to make it through the whole underwater section of the stage this way. Sadly, there's no real use for this glitch, but it's a cool out-of-bounds glitch either way. In the Special World 4-1, when you activate the moving platform at the beginning of the stage, quickly stand on the edge of the platform on the nearest side. What's supposed to happen is enemies will spawn on the platform as Mario moves through the stage. But by standing on the very edge like this, we never enter the trigger for the enemies to spawn, and so the platform is empty. This can continue all the way up until the piranha plants appear midway through the stage. In World 4-3, use the rainbow platform to get up to the bonus stage in the clouds. Once you reach this point of the bonus stage, press the L or R button to make Mario crouch. Now move towards the edge and fall off the cloud, while still holding the crouch button. When Mario respawns back into the regular stage, he'll be stuck in mid-air. He won't be able to move, and the only way to fix this glitch is to exit the stage. In World 7-1, guide the coin coffer to a wall and have it facing directly towards it. Now ground pound it and it'll spit all its coins through the wall. In World 7-5, get to the checkpoint of the stage. Here you have 2 walls with a large gap in between. Jump in between the 2 walls at the right spot and the camera will freak out. The camera will glide to a later part of the stage where you'll either see 2 fake Goombas floating or the floor will only just load as the camera stops moving. In World 8-1, get one of the spiked balls across the reversible platforms. When it reaches the solid platform, it'll get stuck and this will cause the camera to shake. This will end as soon as Mario jumps. In World 8, Bowser's Castle 2, ride the bone coaster for a short distance, and when it drops the first time, begin moving slowly towards the tail until Mario is repeatedly landing on the tail like this. When the bone coaster drops the second time and you're in the correct position, don't touch a direction and Mario will be placed at the very edge of the lava. He can move directly left or right, but moving forwards will make Mario touch the lava and lose a life. Also, he can only move so far left or right before the lava finishes him off. And finally, in the World 1 Bowser Castle, during the fight with Bowser, use Tanuki Mario to glide over the lava to the bridge Bowser's standing on.
As Bowser jumps left, run under him and quickly jump on the button to play the cutscene of the bridge collapsing. If Bowser is off screen, you'll hear him falling in the lava, but the game will never finish the cutscene. Mario will just be stuck in place, unable to move and progress. And the only way out of this glitch is to exit the stage. But there you have it, guys, some interesting and simple glitches you can try out in Super Mario 3D Land. And also a huge thank you to everybody you can see on screen right now for donating towards the 3DS capture card to make this episode possible. And if you like this episode, hit that like button. Things correctly. Now all this stuff seems really random, but what we're doing here is son of a bitch. Mario Kart Wii! Maintaining the tradition of those before it, this entry into the kart racing series has some awesome tricks up its sleeve. But first, here's some minor glitches that you might find interesting. Whenever you finish a time trial and go onto a Grand Prix race, the character icons on the course map remain bigger than they should in this type of race. Here's a side-by-side comparison with the large icons on the left and the small icons on the right. This is due to how the game sets the size of these icons during a time trial race, where usually the only other racer on the track is the ghost. When the game initially starts up, all icons are set to a standard size, which then gets upscaled for time trials, but then when you exit time trials, that scale isn't reset. The only way to get them back to the correct size is to reset the game entirely. This kind of memory storage is useful in other ways. If two players want to play as the same character, player 1 must select the character of choice, cancel the selection and move their cursor for player 2 to select that same character, and then they also have to cancel the selection. Then pressing B to return to the previous screen, you have to choose a mode to get back to the character selection screen. Now you'll notice that both cursors are on the same character, so simply press A to confirm and then you can both play as the same character. This has some pretty funny side effects in the vehicle selection screen. The position of the character relative to the vehicle they're supposed to be in is based on there only being one of that particular character on screen, but seeing as there are two of the same character, it throws the animation of both out of sync. Depending on the character, this can give some pretty humorous results. Yeah, I'm not sure that's how you drive that, Daisy. If you go into a two-player solo race with both players selecting either Peach, Daisy, or Rosalina, and then one uses a cart while the other uses a bike, when you get to the winner's podium, the wrong outfit will be worn for at least one of the characters. Like in this example, one of these Peaches should be wearing the bike outfit and not a dress. Also, whenever both players use the same character, when a race or battle is over, during a course selection, player 2's cart will be invisible. Hey, this kind of looks like the opening to the game. There's also a way to get your Mii's head on a character at the winner's podium. Begin a multiplayer battle, choose Coin Runners Challenge, and then both select the same character using the glitch. Now play the Coin Runners Challenge and win all rounds, and when you get to the podium, you'll have your Mii's head on a racer. That's not the prettiest thing ever. Similar to how selecting two of the same character works, you can use this same principle to get the properties of the fake item boxes in solo races. Select a multiplayer versus race and then a team race. Choose a character each and then make sure you're on opposite teams. Now when you get to the team screen, return all the way back to the versus screen to choose a solo race and then reselect the characters you previously chose. Now just choose a course to race in and go hunting for fake item boxes. And when you place a fake item box in the course, it'll be the same color as the team you chose earlier. Of course, a blue fake item box shouldn't really be in solo races, but the properties of this item is carried through, despite the player cancelling the team race mode and choosing solo race instead. The blue fake item box behaves the same as the red for those curious, so only the color of the item is affected. Okay, with the weird aesthetic stuff out of the way, let's get into actually racing. Here's an awesome trick you can use in Mario Circuit, which involves a wall clipping technique using a bike. But before we break it down, let's see what this clip actually looks like. As you can see, we get sent up into the air and land on the other side of the track. These kinds of track skips are known as ultras, the most extreme kinds of shortcut. When the race begins, backtrack to this tree and line yourself up like this. The lineup is pretty precise, not exact, but there are only a few angles that this works, and the character you use may vary results too, so always bear that in mind. Now reverse Sonic CD. Out of all the classics, son of a bitch. Super Mario Odyssey. It's a game about throwing hats and, reptile weddings. There's something for everyone. Lately, Nintendo games have been super polished and not very buggy at all, but Super Mario Odyssey doesn't follow that trend at all. Now, that's not to say that it's a broken, buggy mess, but it's been out less than a month, and there are already a ton of glitches to talk about. So let's kick things off with our first glitch called the Torkatu camera lock glitch. In every kingdom, you'll find Torkatu. Standing in front of Torkatu, if you throw Cappy behind him, if you then begin a conversation, once the conversation is over, Cappy will hit Torkatu in the back of the head. That seems pretty painful. Kind of uncalled for. What happens then, for some unknown reason, is the camera will lock in place, as if you were still talking to Torkatu. You can navigate Mario around kingdoms by using the map, and that's pretty much the only visual way to get around. Performing this glitch in New Donk City, you can actually make your way to City Hall and go inside, and doing that causes the whole of New Donk City to become dark, which is actually a really cool effect. And if you want to fix the glitch, all you have to do is walk to another point on the map. Now, outside of the actual camera lock and some of these strange effects, there's not really too much to do with this glitch, but there is a very similar glitch which is actually pretty funny. Once you've beaten the game and head back to New Donk City, you'll find that Pauline is stood outside City Hall. She's looking for a purse of all things, but hey, there's a hat right on this bench. I wonder what would happen if we throw this hat at her face and then press A at the right time. Yeah, apparently if you do that and you press A at just the right time, it soft locks the game, and all you have is the camera. Keep rotating around this kind of awkward situation with a floating hat, and oh boy, I think we should move on. Wow, getting things to freeze in this game is actually really easy, as you'll see in this next glitch. In New Donk City, there's a moon that requires you get to the top of this building and jump on the scooter. You're then supposed to ride around to a key, and that unlocks a moon, which is a timed event. However, we're gonna ride straight up to the key and then wait for the timer to end. When the timer dings at the end, then accelerate into the key, and if you time it just right, you'll have this beautiful view of Mario stuck in the air on a scooter. It seems that touching the key on the very last frame that it exists soft locks the game, and the only way out of this is to open up the home menu and close down Super Mario Odyssey. Imagine your surprise if you discover this just casually. Here's a random glitch you can see whenever you leave the Odyssey in the Lost Kingdom. When the camera begins freely moving, immediately enter photo mode and then take a look at the Koopa Trooper off to the right side of the screen. You'll see that the Koopa Trooper is still in his T-pose, which is the default pose for when you rig and animate a character in 3D. Now, under normal conditions, you would never be able to see this, but photo mode allows you to freeze frame the first moments of a world loading in. It seems this Koopa Trooper doesn't begin his real idle animation until a few frames after the world is loaded in. Now you can see this exact same thing with the Koopa Troopers in different kingdoms, but there's a funnier version of this exact same glitch. If we head over to the New Donk City Hall and speak to this guy, we can do New Donk Festival all over again. Once you finish the festival and return to City Hall, wait for the right time to enter photo mode and then take a look at the band. They'll all be in their T-pose. Or maybe they're doing their stretches. I don't know. Remember, all good musicians. I don't know where I'm taking this one. Time to move on, I think. Here's something that happened to me when I was messing around with a dog in the Seaside Kingdom. The dog tends to follow Mario around once you've dug up some coins, and if you take him under some blocks, well, you get this. What's funnier is, at 30 frames per second, everything kind of just freezes, but at 60 frames, you get this kind of vibrating craziness. Naturally, once a Goomba appeared, I had to have that in on the action, so you may want to move out of the way. There's probably some kids in the audience. I want to divert their eyes. Might want to slap an NSFW on that right there. Alright, there's enough, you two. You need to knock it off now. Now for something entirely different, and this is the invisible Cappy glitch. And it's exactly what it sounds like. To make Cappy invisible, head to the Luncheon Kingdom and then throw Cappy at one of the NPCs next to a bean, and while Mario is in his spinning animation, kick the bean. There's kind of a timing thing, but if you get it just right, Cappy will now be invisible. At first, it will look like Mario's just not wearing Cappy, but if you leave Mario standing idle for a second, you'll see that Cappy's eyes just magically appear on top of Mario's head. Which raises the question, has Cappy now possessed Mario? Does Cappy always possess Mario? Does Mario have any free will? What is life? Of course, Cappy is still just on Mario's head, so whenever you press the Y button to throw Cappy, Cappy reappears. This glitch can most likely be performed in other kingdoms with exactly the same rules. So if it happens to you guys in any other kingdoms, feel free to tweet me a short clip. That's not the only glitch we can perform with Cappy. There's also a glitch where Mario can be killed by Cappy. To do this, we need to head to the Luncheon Kingdom. It's not the only glitch we can perform with Cappy. There's also a glitch where Mario can be killed by Cappy. To do this, we need to head to the Luncheon Kingdom and find a piranha plant. Then we need to pick up a rock as Mario and then throw the rock at the piranha plant so he eats it. With the rock in the piranha plant's mouth, we need to then switch to 2 players, so 1 player is Mario and the other player is Cappy. Mario then needs to throw Cappy at the piranha plant to capture it, and then the second player, as Cappy, and with great difficulty, can perform a ground pound on the piranha plant, which effectively kills Mario. Now, obviously, if Mario is dead, then he's not going to move around anytime soon, which leaves you just as Cappy to spin around, effectively. But just the same as with the Talkatoo glitch, if you walk to another point on the map, this will fix the glitch. It's a completely useless glitch, but it's so dumb in its concept, it's amazing. I went a tiny bit Jeff Goldblum there. Enemies in this game can do some super weird stuff, like a great example is here with this hammer bro? I mean, they're not hammers. Pan bro? I don't know. Anyway, after taking this guy out, when he respawns on these blocks, if he's hit by Cappy, for some reason, this will happen. Can you teach me that? That would be really useful in quite a few places in this game. Please? Okay, bye. No idea what causes this, but very fun to watch. This next kind of glitch involves our good friend Glydon, and it kind of exploits his larger hitbox, which is something the game tends to have a little bit of trouble with. For example, if you place Glydon on the very edge of some geometry, like, say, a cage with a moon inside it, if you now make very small jumps to the very corner of this box, Glydon will be able to clip inside and grab the moon without having to get it normally. And you can do this in pretty much any corner in any part of the game, which effectively gives you the easiest way to get out of bounds in Super Mario Odyssey. Unfortunately, if you are out of bounds, this usually means the ground around you isn't solid, and thus there's really not too much to explore. But that doesn't mean there's not a really interesting out of bounds in this game. This is where our good friend Gushin comes into play. I say friend, he's not a friend. In the Seaside Kingdom is this particular Gushin next to the coin box. Throw Cappy at the Gushin to capture it and then move it just slightly over here and then make sure you ground pound it to kill it off. This will push it into the floor slightly when it spawns. When it disappears, you need to stand in this spot where it will respawn and then just keep jumping. When it fully spawns, Mario's jumping up and down will have pushed it into the ground, and now all you have to do is throw Cappy to capture it again. Now this next stage I find kind of finicky, but the general rule is if the Gushin is mostly underground, you can leave this area and the collision will be turned off for the Gushin, meaning it can go through absolutely any wall. So you can now explore everything out of bounds in the Seaside Kingdom, but bear in mind there is one wall that is completely impenetrable, and that is the very outer wall of Seaside Kingdom. So apart from that, you can go through anything. You can see what the classic Mario 2D section looks like from underneath, which is really cool actually. This is one of the best out of bounds I've had in the game, or pretty much any game recently actually. It's a real shame you have to do this glitch with a Gushin and not Cheep Cheep, because potentially you could probably swim down into the depths and get even more out of bounds. This one's really easy and a lot of fun, so I recommend you give this one a try. But we're not done going out of bounds just yet. There's another out of bounds which is even easier in the Luncheon Kingdom. All you need is one of these pan bros, yeah, I'm calling them pan bros, and just take him to this spot and his big hitbox will push him through this wall. It's super simple, but again, because you're out of bounds, the floor isn't solid, so there's not really a lot to see. It's just seeing everything from the other side. Yeah, still cool, I guess. The next two out of bounds are slightly more interesting, but definitely much harder. The first involves the scooter in New Donk City and taking it to this point where you have this guy standing outside a doorway. You need to jump over this guy and then land the scooter in this small space where it just about fits. You then need to hold right and then keep accelerating until the bike gets to about this point, and when it looks like it's about to bonk off the fence, you kind of need to ease up on the acceleration, and with enough trying and patience, you can actually sometimes get pushed through the wall. And once you're in here, there's again not too much to see, but you can pass through all these walls, and it's pretty fun, I guess. I don't know what else to say about this one. It's the kind of glitch you do maybe once in your life, and then you never do it again. But it's interesting
interesting that this was found pretty much day one. This next out of bounds takes place in the Mushroom Kingdom and also involves the scooter and this tree. What you need to do is get next to the tree and then you can jump and then accelerate up the tree, which sounds ridiculous, but if you do this in just the right way, you can get bumped through the ground and then land in this small out of bounds area next to the water. Now the scooter can't touch the water, otherwise it disappears, and there's not much wiggle room for exploration because the floor is basically non-existent. Oh, and there's also one really random out of bounds in the Cat Kingdom. All you have to do is grab one of these flying Goombas and head for this corner, and for some reason there's no collision there, so you can literally just fly straight through it and you're out of bounds. Again though, it's very insignificant and there's not a lot to see, you're just out of bounds again. So as we can see, out of bounds in this game just isn't as, well, crazy as it would usually be, but it's still fun, so it's worth giving a try. Before we move on to the last bunch of glitches, there's one glitch I want to talk about which I wasn't able to replicate, but it's so crazy to me because there's so many different versions of how it gets triggered, but the result is always the same. This glitch is essentially a swim in the air glitch, but I think there's maybe more to it than that. And like I said, the ways that this glitch is triggered varies. By resetting Koopa races, by entering and leaving an area, by warping from checkpoint to checkpoint, but it seems to happen so sporadically and randomly that there's no real way of triggering this successfully. It seems the defining way to tell if this glitch is actually in effect or not is there any water around? All the clips I've seen, the water in the Seaside Kingdom seems to have disappeared, which most likely somehow means that that plane of water has actually been moved way up into the sky. But unfortunately, until I actually experience this glitch, I won't know more about it, and with no successful or consistent way to trigger it, it could be a while. So, in the nature of trying to figure this one out, if you come across this glitch, make sure to use your share button on the Switch to capture any footage you might have. Until then, it's just a mystery. This next random glitch happens during the boss fight in the Seaside Kingdom. It seems that jumping out of a gushen while on top of this boss's head, if you recapture the gushen at the same time, you somehow end up indefinitely gaining height. This also, however, soft locks your game, so you're trapped in this jumping up motion and there's nothing you can do about it. Now, I wasn't able to replicate this for testing, but it definitely looks like a pretty funny glitch, and I'm imagining you can get pretty high. Apparently so high that there's no ceiling and you can no longer see the ground. Definitely not what the developers intended. This infinite height glitch reminds me of another glitch you can do with a dog on the moon. Now there's a sentence I never thought I'd say. To perform this glitch, all you need to do is get the dog to follow you around, and what he'll do is he'll jump up and down these small ledges. If you can manage to jump on the dog while he's up in the air from one of these jumps, what will happen is his height will keep getting reset every time he thinks he's trying to land. Now if Mario bounces off the dog and then throws Cappy at the height of his jump, the dog will reset to a new height value. So essentially this means if you keep this up for another couple of minutes, you'll hit the boundary for the top of the world. What will happen then is you're no longer able to gain any height and Mario is pushed off the dog, and this is where I decided I'm going to see how far out of bounds I can get. Unfortunately, there is an invisible wall between you and the rest of the moon, so I wasn't able to get to this large patch of the moon, and that was sad. That was sad for me. Anyway, it's a super easy glitch and you guys should try it out. Let's go to the dark side of the moon for a second, and if you finish this part of the game, you'll find this long post that sticks out of the ground. Well, if you dive off the side of this ledge, Mario can actually grab an invisible pole. This is basically the pole's collision just extending down towards the ground, so it appears invisible, but it's still technically a pole. Mario can even climb up the pole and end up inside the ground, which is so random. This game truly is an odyssey. It's just odd to see. Really? Let's move on to the final Bowser fight, and during this fight you can actually get the game to technically soft-lock, though it's not really a soft-lock. I'll explain. In the last phase of the fight, where Bowser does a number of different turns where you have to jump over his tail, jump over the tail the first time, and then jump into Bowser to take damage, and then immediately begin punching Bowser as much as you can. If you do this just right, Mario will get stuck in this position as Bowser moves on, and there's nothing you can do except punch thin air. Now technically the game is softlocked because Mario is unable to do anything, but if you take damage from one of these giant metal spike balls, everything returns to normal. Well, it would do if I had more hit points. I didn't.
and I died. So, always have full health is the lesson I learned that day. Oh well, let's move on to another freezing glitch which is actually pretty cool. For this one we'll head to the hardest stage in the game, or considered the hardest stage of the game, the darker side of the moon. For this glitch what we want to do is take out the giant purple hat at the very beginning of the stage, and doing this will award us one of these life up hearts. What we need to do now is grab a bunch of Goombas, preferably about 3 or 4 Goombas tall, and then make it to the middle section where the heart is sitting. You then need to jump out of the Goombas and then lure them towards the heart, and just as they're both touching, throw Cappy at the Goombas. If you do this just right, you'll now notice that everything has frozen in place. Except for Mario, that is, who can now jump out of the Goombas, and you're now free to run around this entire area with some very interesting side effects. The first thing you'll notice is that Mario can now run on lava. I hope this becomes canon. Coins no longer spin, and item boxes no longer do anything, and all moving objects within the stage are now completely still. You are able to make it to the small cannon that fires you to the next section of this stage, but because you don't have a lava bubble and everything's frozen, you're not able to get any further. I guess the only thing left to do here now is jump. Yeah, about that. You can technically die, but suddenly the kill plane is disabled as well. So the game just lets you fall through the lava and into space, I guess? I have no idea what's happening now. I think this might be what hell feels like. Oh, and by the way, the game is pretty much soft-locked. Man, I knew the darker side of the moon was tough, but wow. But about that, what if I told you the darker side of the moon could be skipped entirely? Before you enter the main stage, you'll find these 2 frogs, and you can see our destination in the background is the giant skyscraper from New York City. What you need to do is capture one of the frogs and then jump at the same time as the other frog is going to jump. While in the air, jump out of one frog and bounce on the other and then capture it. This, for some completely unscientific reason, tricks the frog into thinking it's swimming, and you can now swim to victory. That's right, you can swim majestically across the cosmos as a frog to reach the other side and grab your multi-moons in record-breaking time. This is ridiculous as it is effective, and I absolutely love this glitch. It's super easy, you should definitely try it out. But that's it, there are no more worlds to conquer, and it's pretty much every... Hey guys, Andy here, and welcome to my Super Mario World 80% speedrun in 10 minutes and 31 seconds. An 80% speedrun means finishing the game using whatever methods you can, whether that be exploiting glitches to skip parts of the game, or by near-perfect execution of the game's mechanics. I'll be explaining exactly what's going on during the run so you'll understand all the technical stuff that goes into a speedrun like this. In this run, I'll be using a glitch to place a Lakitu cloud in our item reserve box at the top of the screen. We do this by firing a red shell, then grabbing a green shell, placing it down in an exact spot which the red shell then turns into a coin. By jumping off Yoshi in a certain way with the correct timing, we can get Yoshi to eat the coin as Mario is collecting it. The game thinks that there's still a coin on Yoshi's tongue, and because of the way that sprites are organized within the game's memory, it places a charging chuck on Yoshi's tongue instead. Now, charging chuck enemies aren't normally able to be eaten by Yoshi, and so when it does get eaten, it'll place a glitch sprite in the item reserve box, and this item is the cloud. It's a very precise trick which I still mess up a lot, but it went really well. I'll be using the cloud later on in the game during the final Bowser fight, so I have to make sure I don't get hit for the entire run, otherwise it's bye-bye to the cloud. So that's stage 1, and now on to stage 2. Very tricky jump in the beginning to get to the top quickly, and this whole stage is about timing your jumps and the kind of jumps you use. Spin jumps don't really carry any height, but maintain speed and distance, so using them saves overshooting platforms with a regular jump. The layout of this stage has platforms that are pretty close together, making it really easy to jump and fall to the bottom. I'd say that apart from the first stage of practicing consistently getting the cloud glitch, this stage would be one of my other most practiced. I've lost count of how many times I've ended up jumping into bottomless pits in this stage, but overall nothing too crazy happens in this one. If you imagine this stage as a pattern of regular jumps and spin jumps, I find it's easier to make sense of it and get to the end. So all in all, that wasn't too bad a run of stage 2. And so on to stage 3, which is like stage 2 with timing jumps, but there is one pretty difficult trick that can be used to speed things up slightly, which you won't see in this run. You can do what's called a shell jump, which stops Mario landing in the water, which loses like a second, but it's really hard to get down. I've had it once or twice messing around, but never in a run. I landed in the water, which is not a huge deal. I guess the main thing is just to get out quickly, which is when Mario seems to not want to jump out, like ever. But it went okay here. So stage 3 is pretty simple, and now it's on to Iggy's castle, which when I first started to learn the game, we used to skip this stage by using a similar glitch to the cloud, but it would give us the orb item instead. Using the orb would just end the stage instantly without having to beat Iggy, but now with the cloud we have to beat the stage legit. There is a lot of jumping and grabbing the fence at the last second in this stage, which can result in a hot fiery death if you miss it. Which, believe me, is something that will happen a lot during practice of this stage. Now, this room is an auto-scroller which is set to move at a certain speed, so there's a lot of waiting around here, but there's not much that can be done about that. Well, I guess it's a nice break if anything. Despite this being so slow, this is thankfully the only auto-scroller in the whole run, and we make up this time we lose here during the Bowser fight later on, so this is still quicker than skipping the stage with the orb. Really not too much to say about this room, it's just slow. And so here's a tricky quick kill on Iggy that I almost screwed up here, but this is another thing that I practiced a lot because I found it really difficult to get. If that was anything to go by, I still find it difficult. If you don't get him off the ledge by the time it flips, he's going in the opposite direction, so it's pretty crucial you push him off quick. I failed that fight more times than I care to remember. Okay, so now we have to watch the cutscene, which is like 20 seconds long. It's a shame we can't skip it really. It's like, cool, you blew it up, let's go already. So now we're moving on to the second world, and this is where we'll be taking the alternate route to get through the game in the fastest time, which means going through Star Road. So the next few stages will be about grabbing keys for the most part to open up the rest of the stages. This is where the run begins to get a bit more interesting. Okay, so onto Donut Plains, and the first thing we need to do is quickly grab the cape, which now I've gotten to the point where I can catch it in the air, which saves having to jump again to grab it. Then we need to get flying as we're going to get the hidden key. Man, I had so much trouble with this starting out, getting the timing on the cape to fly and then trying to gain height. I still don't get it quite right. This was a little low for my liking, as there's a pipe I have to get over to make it to the ledge where the key is, and I only just make it. The important thing is that I did make it, and I also managed to grab the key on the way down, so that ends this stage, and I'll keep the cape I grabbed for the rest of the run, which is extremely useful. So the next stage is a water world, which is pretty straightforward, but moving quickly can be a bit awkward to begin with. Getting just the right amount of forward momentum and then upwards movement is pretty key to getting through this at speed, something I'm still not amazing at. I remember losing my mind at this stage for the longest time due to getting hit by Cheep Cheeps. Anyway, going through the pipe into another room which can lose you a lot of time if you screw this up. I want to fly up, take out the Koopa, and then grab its shell, which went well here as it's another one of those things that I practiced a lot. And why do I need the shell, you might ask? When Mario holds a shell underwater, he moves a lot quicker, which for a speedrun is the best thing I could get. And because of the speed Mario has with the shell, I want to keep it as long as possible. I need to hit the P-switch to get to another key to move on to the next stage, which is a secret house, and I hate this stage. There is so much that can go wrong. I could get hit and lose the cloud or the cape or anything. Right off the bat, I damage boost through the booze, which lets me hold onto the cape, which I really need for this stage if nothing else. A lot of tricky jumps there that you have to time really well and then move on to the next room. And if the first room went well, this is where I'm really worrying because this jump and flight upwards gave me hell for the longest time. That gap is crazy small and I always used to get hit and lose the cloud. Grabbing the P-switch and bringing it back up, I've seen it done better, but this works. And on to the boss. This is really simple. Grab a block, stand in the right place, and throw it upwards. Nothing hard about this. With perfect timing, you can get this done a tiny bit quicker, but not by much. This boss really isn't a challenge because it's the same thing every time you fight it, so stand in the right place and throw the block upwards and you're good to go. I suppose one of the big risks you do have is making sure you don't hit any of the boos so you lose your cape or the cloud, so that's pretty crucial that that doesn't happen. But the likelihood of you getting hit is very small anyway, and so with that boss out of the way, we're done with the early stages in the game. And so now we move on to the Star Road portion of the run, and the next stage has a glitch you can do with the blocks. Basically, only 4 of the blocks can be spinning at the same time, and if we kinda get inside them, it will zip us right through the remaining blocks below. I've actually lost a few runs in the next section because I've zipped right through them going too far left and hit the bottom of the screen and died. But thankfully, that didn't happen here. Admittedly, it is pretty funny when it does happen, but so far so good. The next stage is another water world, and this one is really simple. Just swim to the top of the screen, over all the enemies, and then drop down to the lower section of the stage, heading towards another hidden key. I don't even know why this is a stage in all honesty, but it's definitely the easiest stage in the run by a long shot. I guess probably the trickiest part is right at the end, where I need to get rid of the baby Yoshi and quickly grab the key and turn around to finish the stage. But I got it really nice here, so it's all about the small victories. So onwards and upwards in Star Road, and the next stage is very quick, but to execute well takes a little bit of practice. We need to fly up sharply, head to the left, grab the key, and then go for the keyhole to the right. It's a very short but sweet stage, so I like that one. And then the next stage is more flying with the cake, which like I said before, I had trouble with, especially gaining height. This one has a few Koopas to dodge, as well as having enough height to land on the platform with the key. So I have to make sure I don't fly too low, otherwise I'll lose a life, but not fly too high either. There go the Koopas, which I nearly hit, and then I had to quickly gain height to land the platform. But I did make it, and now I can breathe a sigh of relief. So now that I've got through Star Road, I can head straight for Bowser's Castle, and to the final fight with Bowser, where I can finally use the cloud I've been carrying the whole time. Now this part of the run is fairly straightforward, but there is one trick you can do to speed up a room. You'll see me dive into the door, and that lets me immediately take flight in the next room, which saves a lot of fence climbing. If you jump too late, Mario will move at his normal slow speed, and you'll have to climb along the fence normally, so this is by far the best way to get through the room quickly and then onto the next. So in the room with the spiked pillars, I have a timing method that I use to get through it as soon as possible. I wait for the second spike from the ceiling to disappear back into the ceiling, and then I start my run. It looks really close, but Mario doesn't take any damage, and then it's a straight run to the door, which I overshot. The dark room is again very straightforward, but it can be easy to misjudge a jump and take a hit. And in the later part of the room, I actually messed up a jump, which lost me a second or so. But now we're on to the Bowser fight, and as you'll see, by pressing the select button, the cloud has now appeared at the top of the screen. I need to fly up and then land on the cloud, and then move it to the top left corner of the screen. Using the cloud, I can cancel a lot of Bowser's animation during the fight, which saves a ton of time. You'll see that Bowser stops dead and then throws out some Mecha Koopas, and that allows me to get in a quick hit and then grab the one that lands on the floor. So I get back on the cloud and then go back up to the top left corner of the screen and then go off screen. This tells Bowser's AI to cancel whatever animations it's currently performing and trigger the next phase. By jumping to the left with the right timing, I can get Bowser to throw the huge cannonballs early, again skipping a lot of the animation. I do this a third time and then jump to land a quick hit and again throw a Mecha Koopa. The reason this works is because the memory address that controls the timer for Bowser to throw the Mecha Koopas is also the same address that stores the X coordinate of the Lakitu cloud. As a result, when the cloud floats off to the left of the screen, it triggers Bowser to throw the Mecha Koopas. The same is true of flying off the top of the screen during the falling flames. Then back up to the left corner to skip the next phase, and here we are with the final hits. I was a bit too far right here, so I moved to the left of the screen for the final hit, and I also took a hit, so that lost a few seconds here. The timer stops when Peach appears on screen, and that's a time of 10 minutes 31 seconds, which is my personal best in nearly 2 years of practicing this game. Honestly, I don't think I could improve on my time. A lot of things that usually go wrong went right in this run. A lot of practice and trial and error went into this, so I'm pretty happy with this time. Just for some reference, the current world record for this category at the time of publishing this episode is 9 minutes and 47 seconds. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this run, and I encourage anyone who likes games to go for it. It's a lot of fun. If you like this episode, hit that like button, share it with everyone, but most importantly, if you'd like to see other speedruns, subscribe to see more from the series. If you'd like how to perform the
Știi cât e ceasul? Că am spus la și un sfert și 2. Cu 10 minute mai multe. Hai să mâncăm. Stinge, te rog, tableta.
Flying on the back of a hat. Hey, Internet! Welcome to Glitch Fest. Mario is here for his latest adventure alongside.
Să mulțumesc. Hai. Facem o dată așa de mult am vorbit. Te doare că e ascultătoare. Așa. Spală-te pe mână, puiuțul.
Pizza.
Marta.
Pizza. 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 Where's my phone? Where's my phone? Where's my phone?
Acum ne jucăm cu altceva, Maxi? O să avem de făcut, dar acum o să facem și mâine, dar mai bine facem, fii atent să nu faci foarte multe sfărmuri, Maxi, că ajung pe jos, dragostea lui. Da, nu cu telefonul, te rog frumos, să putem să ne jucăm și putem face un pic de matematică și după aia să mai... Vrei la televizor? Hai să vedem ce la televizor la... Asta, dar toată ziua ai fost așa și pentru așa prea fost.
Sunt peste 150 de canale să alegi.
Da, și de multe ori n-ai ce alege. Am Irina, cățelul pe Nick Junior, să vedem ce este. Nu. Infojucăria?
Infojucăria, da.
Nu mai să vedem.
As a result, on June 23rd, 1964, they took out a patent for the hoop and released it as a toy called Hula Hoop.
Hula Hoop. Cercul ăla care învârți așa.
The invention had tremendous success. During only first 4 months, they sold 25 millions of the hula hoops, and by 1985, the company was producing about 25,000 hoops a year. They wrote about the hoop. Not any other sensation had ever thrilled the world the same as the hula hoop did. Both kids and adults were spinning hula hoop. Even entire nations were spinning hula hoop.
Până și pământul, huh?
Today, hula hoop isn't a sport toy only.
Uite, vezi spagatul.
This hoop is an irreplaceable implement in rhythmic gymnastics. Hundreds of sportswomen all over the world spin it during the Olympics. welcome hula hoop everywhere. For example, in Japan, there was a period when hula hoop was banned, as soon as the pelvis movements during the spinning were considered immoral by Japanese. The record for the hula hoop spinning time is held by Roxana Rhodes. She managed to have been spinning it during 90 hours. For some people, one hoop isn't enough. In 2008, Jin Linlin managed to spin 300 hoops simultaneously.
Hai de capul meu.
And Bangkok citizens hold the new world record for mass hoop spinning. Can you imagine 5,000 Thai people spinning hoops all together? It's difficult to imagine our world without this invention, which seems to be just so simple. It is time to say goodbye, but we will come back very soon and we'll tell you another story about another toy which changed our world. See you soon.
Dar hai să facem... Hai să facem un pic de masă. Stingem asta și facem un pic de masă. Mai punem și capul la...
Mama, uit.
La ce? La publicitate te uiți. Te mai uiți. La publicitate te uiți, că la asta îți place. A?
Un team building la Copacabana. Cafune, the fun coffee.
Salutare, iubitorii ai naturii! Perfect! V-ați întrebat vreodată
Mai
cum ne
vreau
poate
cuvintele
îmbunătăți viața de zi cu zi?
Bine, dragule.
Impresionant! Veniți cu noi într-o
Cum
călătorie
spui?
uimitoare și învățați să
Ah,
învățați
cuvintele
lucruri
magice.
la-
Cuvintele magice care arată politețea, da. Așa, da.
Wow! Asta chiar arată ca o insectă.
Numai să ai grijă să nu le mai spargi, să nu dă pe jos.
Urmăriți, natura știe mai bine, la Da Vinci. Știința e atât de complicată. Dar cu marele Thomas Edison alături,
Ai găsit soluția problemei.
e ușor, da! Privește experimente fantastice. Bine, haideți să construim o rachetă. Și aparte la invenții miraculoase.
Super!
Sigur că dacă e suficient, cum să nu?
Secreta lui Thomas Edison,
Bun venit înapoi, echipă!
doar la Da Vinci.
Tati le-au dus cu drag pentru tine.
Ai încredere în
Cu
tot
mare
ceea ce
drag,
vezi,
cu iubire. Foarte.
dar în tot ceea ce auzi.
Așa. Așa e bine.
Oare tot ceea ce îți spune mintea e chiar așa? Poate ar trebui să te uiți mai bine ca să descoperi ce feste uluitoare îți joacă creierul. Descoperele pe toate la gimnastica minții.
Azi la... Uite!
15,
35, la 3 și 35. Lăsăm aici să vedem și noi încă mergem să facem gimnastica minții cu matematica. Cum să nu? Și îți arăt ce trebuie să scrii. Scrie aici pe caietul de clasă că e pe la mine pe telefon. Ce bine că mergem noi la 9 la culcare, foarte bine. Suntem și odihniți, în și revenim, sigur, suntem liniștiți, calmi, de dragul, sigur că de dragul. Așa. Așa.
My name is Nakeem, and today we're reading between the lines. Tennis lines, that is, here at the Rexall Center Stadium Court. Tennis means using ball by your opponent. It's like ping pong, but bigger. So stick around because Sports Lab is about to put some spin on the game of tennis.
Și când ai fost
Nice serve, nice
bună
game.
viol.
Hitting a tennis ball with a racket is fun, and the scientific forces that take over are just as fun. When you learn about the aerodynamics of a tennis ball and how the surface of a court makes a difference, it'll really make your head spin.
My name's Chloe and I'm 11 years old.
Oh,
My home court's
3
actually
ani mai mare.
right by the way, and an awesome place to play. My friends and I go there whenever we can and play for hours. It's so much fun. My mom and dad put me in lots of sports like gymnastics. One day she put me in tennis lessons, and ever since then I haven't dropped the racket. One of my favorite things about tennis is being on the court and independent, and I like playing sports by myself. I play tennis all the time. You can't get me off the court.
Hey, Chloe.
Hey, what's up?
Not much. Welcome to Sports Lab. So first off, I was wondering if I could show you my ready position.
Sure.
And you can let me know if it's right.
All right.
Why? What's wrong with it?
It's wrong.
So how do I do it right again?
It's like this.
Okay, this makes more sense.
You need to have two hands on the racket because you don't know if you're going to get a forehand or a backhand.
So in tennis, are you supposed to name your racket?
Yeah, you could have a nickname for it, yeah.
I'll call mine Nakeem Jr.
Nice name.
Do you have a nickname?
I call it ace because, you know, when I'm serving, I go for the big ace.
Oh, is there anything else you'd like to know about the game of tennis?
I mean, I play tennis all the time, but where does it come from and what does the word mean?
Excellent question. Let's serve up the history of tennis. Tennis can be traced back to 12th century France, in a monastery of all places, where the monks came up with a fun little game called Jeu de Paume, which means game of the palm. That's right, instead of a racket, they used their hands. During the 16th century, tennis was played inside, where the ball could bounce off the walls. It wasn't until 1859, when lawn tennis was invented, that tennis moved outside. The word tennis comes from the French word tenez, which means hold or receive, something the players would shout at each other before serving. Lawn tennis was a popular royal pastime, but today, anybody can yell tenez, so give it a try.
Tenez.
So that's the history of tennis. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
There's only one thing left to say. Tenez!
Ce bun i-au jucat tenis. Clasa nouă, că au avut 14-15 ani. Ce bun i-au jucat tenis. Am dat la perete și la plasă, așa e. Am încercat să joc. Dar nu ține mult.
Great job, Chloe.
Thanks, you too.
You know, I think you could give me some advice. What is one thing I should always remember in playing tennis?
It's good to mix up your shots, so you should learn different ones.
So what's one tennis shot you would like to learn more about?
Te scrie-mi în halul ăsta.
It makes the ball drop down fast, but I'm not sure how it works.
I think science can help. Let me check in with the expert. Dr. Heather, you there?
Interesting question, guys. I think we need to pay attention to airflow. I know just the right person to give you the
Hai
skinny
la,
on skating.
la mate.
You can meet him on Stadium Court.
Oh, mai ai una.
Let's go.
Hai caduc.
Who's ready for a quiz?
Hai tu de matematică din
Why
clasă.
are tennis balls fuzzy? A. Slow the ball down. B. Better grip for players. Or C. Dogs like them.
The answer is A.
Slow the ball down. If the balls were fuzzy, they would move too fast for most players. Daniel. This corner is amazing. Have you ever played here before?
Yeah, I'm actually lucky enough. I played a tournament here.
Oh, that's awesome. Have you ever played here?
Definitely not, but I will one day.
That's a great attitude. Do you have any questions for Daniel?
Yeah, actually I do. What's your favorite shot?
Forehand. I can attack a lot easier on that side. What about you? What's your favorite shot?
Probably my forehand as well. I've been running for the whole winter net to become a weapon.
Okay, so we need someone to demonstrate top spin forehand for us. Are you game?
Yeah, I can do that for sure.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay, here are a few quick tips. First of all, you want to keep the racket below the ball in your hand. Second, you want to graze the back of the
Ioi, Maxi! Mai doborât. Iară mai doborât. Dar ce-ți place să mă dobori așa de mult? De ce-ți place să mă dobori așa de mult? Băi, măi, tu știi că ești mare acum. Ești mare acum. Dar hai să facem mate, hai. Wow, Maxi! Ioi, ce greu ești! Dumnezeule mare, că la 3:30 ne uităm la creierul care joacă feste.
A zis Pingus.
Da.
Mare.
Hai că mai avem, uite aici. Stai să vedem. Asta este. Uite aici. Încedată din 26. Mergem la masă sau stai aici? Și eu îți dictez. Maxi, stai aici sau mergem la masă?
Stau aici.
Bine. Na. Scrie 26 01 2018. Și ai exercițiul 1. Scrie pe margine aici, uite aici. 1. Acolo. Bun. Și eu îți dictez și tu scrii. 6 plus 7. 8 plus 3. Scrie. 8 plus 3. Că eu îți dictez. Bun. 9 plus 4. Uh, 7 plus 7. Maxi. Egal? minus 4, coloana următoare aici. 11 minus 4. 17 minus 8. 17 minus 9. Și 15 minus 7. Da, acum le faci. Da. Pentru că dacă 7 plus 4 egal cu 11, corect. No, scrie mai departe, că ai acolo. 17 minus 8. Exact, pentru că 9 cu... Exact. Și 15 minus 7. Perfect, pentru că 7 cu 8 fac 15. 9 cu 8 fac 17, corect. Rândul următor aici, de desubt, Maxi. 6 plus 7. Lasă un loc liber, lasă mai mult 3 spații libere și așa. 6 plus 7. 14 minus 9. Corect. 5 plus 9. Nu, 5 plus 9. Adaugi o unitate la 9 și cât îți dă?
10.
Nu, și atunci cât îți mai rămâne dincolo? Nu, vezi, 14. 17 minus 9. Scrie acolo, 17 minus 9. Nu, cât e? Ai mai avut odată 17 minus 9. Nu vezi? Și acum uite ce ai aici. 17 minus 8, 15 minus 8, 13 minus 8, 11 minus 8. Scrie acolo. 17. Ai văzut? Hai că n-avem, nu-ți facem foarte multe. Ce? Na, scrie.
Oana câte n-are?
Da, hai că asta e a doua pagină. Hai. 17 minus 8, na, hai de acum.
17 minus 8, e Super Mario.
Exact, 17 minus 8, 15 minus 8, 13 minus 8, 11 minus 8. Ai văzut cum ai știut? Da, că tu ești mecheron și judeci și îmi place că judeci. Ești mecheron cu clon și îmi place că judeci. 2, exercițiu 2. Hai că aici cu clon, aici ai 3 să calculezi. Da. Păi așa au zis doamna. Hai, da. Exercițiu 2, scrie acolo, țuțurică, uite unde ai scris 1, aici scrie 2. Hai că facem pagina asta și ne oprim după aia și facem la 3:30 ne uităm la creier. Na, 2. Perfect. 3 plus 8, mai jos, acolo. Nu te băga așa, că nu o să ai loc pentru 10, Maxi.
Ai!
Na. Dă-te mai încolo. 3. Na, lasă acum. Na, uite, scrie aici și după aia iau guma și ștergi. 3. Hai că iau guma și ștergi. 3 plus 8 plus 4. Haide că pentru tine nu e așa de greu. Uite, l-am și șters. Uite ce frumos am șters. Na, cât e 3 cu 8? Plus 4? Unsprezece și cu 4, perfect. Următorul. 6 plus 8 minus 6. Stai că ștergem, uite aici. Ștergem așa frumos. Minus 6. Cât e? Minus 6. Cât e? Uite, 6 plus 8 minus 6. N-aș măcheronțcă, da. 9 plus 4. Minus 7.
mă gândeam realre și chiar când vedeam numărul din mijloc, mă gândeam realre.
Da.
6 plus 8 minus 6 plus 8 minus 6.
Deci 9 plus 4, cât e, Maxi? Dacă scazi din 7, 9 minus 7, cât e? 2. Plus 4, n-aveți ce ușor. N-aveți că așa se face. 8 plus 7, minus 9.
Plus 7.
Cât e?
8 plus 8 e 16, 8 plus 6 e 15.
Exact! 15 minus 9.
Egal 6, nu
Perfect.
plus 6.
Perfect, 6, da. Da.
Da,
ai
că
scris?
trebuia să fie pusă plus.
Na, 6, scrie acolo 6. Ce faci? Așa, fă tu, frumos. Egal 6. Faci ca la telefon. Șmecheronț. Na, hai, următorul rând. Facem numai 2 exerciții acum, bine? Numai astea 2 le facem. Mâine mai continuăm. Astăzi nu mai facem, numai astea 2. 1 și 2 facem, bine?
1 și 2.
Hai, că asta trebuia de mult. Maxi, nu-i frumos pe guriță. Nu-i frumos pe guriță, ți-o spus bune.
Dar stricat el.
Nu, ți-o spus bune. Așa, pe obraz,
Nu vezi ce pupi.
Bă, nu vezi, Dară, nu vezi ce pupi, că tu vezi ce pupi. Nu, haide, scrie acolo. 9 plus 3. 9. Nu acolo unde ai scris tu. 9. Plus 3. Minus 4. Poftim. Nu cu aia că nu pot. Eu deja aștept pe tine. Cu asta. Na, tu știi cât e? O să fie 2.
Cum să fie 2?
9, Maxi, 9 plus 3. Cât e 9 plus 3? Eu cred că nu e așa. Nu e 5. Hai să socotim. 9 plus 3, 12. 12 minus 4. Păi da. 12 minus 4. Cum să fie 7, Maxi? 12, nu 11. Nu, în fine. Următorul. 11 minus 5. Hai că numai două rânduri, adică două șiruri și gata. Minus 5 plus 7. Cât e 11 minus 5?
6.
Plus 7. 6 plus 7. Așa. 12 minus 7. Următorul. 12 minus 7. plus 8. 12 minus 7 cât e, Maxi?
5
Plus 8?
13.
Perfect. Și acum, 12 minus 8. Ultima de rândul ăsta. Scrie acolo. 12 minus 8 plus 9. Cât e 12 minus 8? Plus 9. Același număr. Ai văzut? Exact. Și acum ultimele 4. 6 plus 6 plus 6. Uite. 6 plus 6 scrie aici. Ultimele și gata.
6 plus 6 plus...
Da, haide. Plus 6. Deja știi că 6 ori 3, ai văzut? 13. Alo? Alo? Ciao, alo? Da. Na, scrie acolo. 13, că o greșit. O greșit telefonul. Hai, scrie 13 minus 10 minus 5 plus 3. Știi cât e?
E egal?
Da.
Adică am zis egal.
Este egal cât crezi?
13
Minus 5 cât e?
8.
8.
Plus
3. 8 plus 3.
11.
Exact. Și penultima. 14 minus 8. Plus 7. Egal. 14 minus 8 cât este, Maxi?
6.
Da. Plus 7. Corect. Și acum, 14 minus 9. Plus 6. E sigur? 14 minus 9, 5. Păi cum? Maxi. 14 minus 9, n-am judecat. N-ai judecat, nu mai crezut că e la fel. Stai să vedem. 14 minus 9 cât e? 14 minus 9 este 5 plus 6, 11, da. Aha. Ai crezut că e tot ca nu credem. Rezolvăm. Punem mintea la contribuție. Bravo. Perfect. Nu, a fost așa de mult. Mai avem după aia, uite astea. Astea încă 2 pe mâine. 3 și 4. Și după aia sunt problemele. Vrei să faci problemele sau nu? Facem problemele.
Mâine.
Găsește numere naturale mai mici decât, mai mici cu 7.
Mâine.
Tot mâine, bine. Mâine facem. Că avem timp, că suntem în vacanță, dar asta tu trebuia să faci tema într-o zi. Toate. Aha. Toate, da. În 26. Da. Trebuia să le faci pe toate într-o zi. Dar așa e frumos. Bun. Bravo. Gata. Am terminat. Acum ne putem uita.
Da, pentru că străitii ies și
Păi da. Da, imediat vine cu creierul care ne joacă feste.
New Super Mario Bros. Eu.
Dar să vedem aici dacă vine doamna. Stai să vedem că noi terminăm Tu termină ăsta de clasa 1-a. Să văd care e ăla de clasa 1-a. Ce sarca Friznelul? Să vedem ce ai aici. Recapitularea finală cu doamna. Vai, ce-mi place. Ai văzut? Îți place de ea?
Da.
Hai să văd. Oare știu? Nici nu știu. 7 din 16 cât este, Maxi? 16 minus 7.
16.
Care este diferența dintre suma și diferențele? Suma cât este?
16
Ia, 9. Așa, 9 și 2 minus 1?
2 minus 1,
1, da, 19 e diferența. Și care e suma? Hai să vedem care e suma. 3, 6, 7 cu 6 cât e? 13.
13.
1. Ține minte. 3 și cu 2? 5. 5, 3 minus 19, oare cât e?
3 minus 19.
13 minus 9 cât dă?
13 minus 9 dă 4.
4. Și 1 minus 4? 1 minus 4? 4 minus 1?
3.
Da, gata, că nu știu de ce nu-ți
Ai
place.
încercuit?
N-am încercuit, pentru că le-am făcut eu, nu tu.
Ai
Eu am făcut.
Oui.
Eu am făcut, nu tu. Nu e. Las că faci cu doamna astea, bine?
Da.
Da, astea le faci cu doamna. Sigur că da.
Recapitulare.
Recapitulare finală. Și nu mai ai niciuna, gata. Gata, gata. Mâine sper să vină.
Nintendo Switch Parental Wii.
Haide. Ce ai zis?
Wii.
What? Give me the pencil.
Nintendo Switch Parental Wii.
Jucăm pinguinii sau citim o poveste? Maxi, uite, tu ai primit un caiet, că eu un carnețel de la doamna. Ce v-a spus doamna cu carnețelul ăsta? Uite aici, eu m-am uitat la carnețelul ăsta și sunt foarte curioasă ce v-a spus doamna. Uite ce carnețel ați primit la școală. Carnet de cititor.
Carnet de cititor.
Uite aici și scrie așa. În data de am terminat de citit cartea scrisă de ilustrații de și subiectul. Cât îi acorzi? 5 steluțe, 2, 3, vezi? Și personaje. Ce personaj mi-a plăcut cel mai mult și de ce? Ilustrații sunt frumoase, se potrivesc cu textul, au umor. Un citat, o idee ce nu mi-a plăcut, ce mi-a plăcut. Vezi? Uite ce frumos. Hai să vedem ce luăm noi de aici și ce scriem aici. Că scrii tu, nu eu. Ce vrei de aici să luăm? Ce basa, ce vrei
Am
tu
multă
să scrii?
experiență de citit.
Păi, ai, dar trebuie să scriem acolo ca să vadă doamna. Cartea mea cu povești?
Da.
Și care dintre ele îi spui că ai citit? Că noi am mai scris aici la cartea mea, vezi? Eu mai scris, uite, povestea mea preferată, personajul meu, pentru că, bun, eu mai scris cu tine.
Înainte să scriu.
Da, înainte. Bunii ți-o citit și ai citit și tu. Ei, da. Na, care scriem acolo prima? Ce zici? Care dintre ele și de ce? Și scriem toate. Luăm cartea asta sau asta la altă? Povești fantastice. Ce zici?
Cred că ambele le-am citit.
Nu cred că pe ambele le-am. Adică, ba da, dar trebuie să scriem acolo cine e autorul. Uite, din 2014 e asta.
De la Girasol.
Da. Și trebuie să scriem și de personaje și de care îți place, ce ți-a plăcut. Care carte ți-a plăcut mai mult? Cum este ilustrată? Asta sau asta? Desenele.
Să vedem. O să caut albă ca zăpada. Să
Caute,
vedem
uite
ce
aici
mai
ai. Vezi? Uite.
Wow! Buni!
Da, dragoste.
Am ilustrat diferit.
Da, sigur că-s diferite, dar de-aia te întreb, care îți plac mai mult?
Îmi place ilustrația.
Care? De la care carte?
Ăsta e ea.
Asta e ea?
Da,
Bun.
era
Cum?
mai de desen animat.
Mai de desen animat? Atunci să scriem aici. Ce ai citit și ce e scrisă de? Albă ca zăpada, scrisă de. Dar nu avem de cine e scrisă.
De Girasol.
Nu, Girasol este editura. Asta e bas, nu știm cine a scris-o. E bas. Să vedem, ne uităm cine a scris Albă ca zăpada, să vedem. Scrie acolo, în data de. Am terminat. Scrii sau nu?
Da, scriu.
Cu creionul. Poftim. O scris doamna, o spus doamna să scrieți sau nu?
O spus.
O spus. Na. Albă ca zăpada. În data de. Cât? Scriem astăzi că tu ai citit-o de multe ori.
Am amintit că
Stai.
am citit, că am terminat de citit cartea prima oară în
În?
2015.
Da, dar acum scrie acolo. În data de 2015. Cât scrii tu? În data de... Hai să scriem acolo. Foarte bine.
Să vedem.
Foarte bine.
Să vedem. În ce perioadă am citit-o prima oară?
În 2015, dar când? În data de 2015 am terminat de citit cartea. Care? Albă ca zăpada. Scrie.
Stai, mă.
Ce
Nu e albă ca zăpada, cartea.
Cartea nu-i, da. Cartea mea cu povești, ai dreptate. Da, scrie.
2015, dar nu. Nu scriu data și luna până nu știu.
Uite aici. Hai să vedem dacă am scris ceva aici. În ce dată? Că eu de obicei scriu. Uite, n-am scris. Ai văzut ce rău că n-am scris?
Ce?
Ai văzut ce rău că n-am scris? Hai să scriem în decembrie. 2015 în decembrie. Așa. Așa.
Și asta va fi ziua, nu?
Care? Următoarea?
Următoarea va fi ziua.
Hai să scriem invers. Hai să scriem ziua, luna și anul. Deci, stai jos. Că tu l-ai primit în 2014 pe ăsta, așa-i? Cartea ai primit-o în 2014 că am scris. Vezi ce bine că am scris. Vezi? Uite. În 2014. Și tu scrii acolo. În data de 24 a 12 a 2015. Un an de zile, sigur. 24. Sau maxim întâi. Întâi ziua, luna și după aia anul. Da. Sau 22, sau 23, sau cât vrei tu. No, prăjitură. Ce-mi trebuie mie? Prăjitura mi-a apărut. Să vedem. Este prăjitura albă ca zăpada, da. Uite să vedem.
Dar nu arată ca albă ca zăpada.
Noastră a început într-o noapte de demult. Fulgi de zăpadă cădeau ușori, precum bucățelele de pată. Regina, singură, așezată în apropierea ferestrei, broda privind cum cade zăpada. Din greșeală, regina se înțepă la un deget și văzând acele picături de sânge pe zăpadă, prin minte îi trecu un gând.
Aș vrea să pot avea o fetiță cu piele albă ca zăpada, cu obrajii și buzele roșii precum sângele și părul negru precum cerul acesta.
Ne uităm? Ne uităm?
Dorința reginei fu ascultată. Copila nou-născută era așa cum sperase și amintindu-și de gândul ei, regina îi dădu numele de albă ca zăpada. Din păcate, fericirea reginei nu dură prea mult. Biata de ea se îmbolnăvi de o boală gravă și muri.
Bate de ciumă.
Se recăsători și regatul a avut o nouă regină. O femeie nespus de frumoasă, dar din păcate, conștientă de propria ei frumusețe, era și foarte vanitoasă. Exista ceva ce îi dădea o mare satisfacție ambițioasei regine, și anume...
Oglindă, oglijoară, vreau să-mi spui cine e cea mai frumoasă din această împărăție.
Tu, regina mea, tu ești cea mai frumoasă din împărăție.
Da, este firesc. Nici o femeie nu e mai frumoasă decât mine. Bravo, oglindă, fii mereu sinceră cu mine.
Deci fiecare ilustrează altfel.
Au trecut anii, dar într-o bună zi, oglinda magică a reginei îi răspunse.
Trebuie să-ți dau o veste proastă. Albă ca zăpada este de cel puțin 1000 de ori mai frumoasă decât tine.
Cum îți permiți? Cum de îndrăznit să-mi spui că fetița aia este de 1000 de ori mai frumoasă decât mine?
Dar albă ca zăpada, crescând, devenea din ce în ce mai frumoasă. Oricine o privea rămânea uimit de frumusețea ei. Înnebunită de invidie, regina ordonă unui vânător să o ducă pe albă ca zăpada în pădure și să o ucidă. Vânătorul se pregătea să execute ordinele date de regină, dar frumusețea copilei nu îl lăsă indiferent și îngenunchiată în fața ei îi mărturisi totul plin de căință. Mama mea cea vitregă? Nu pot să cred!
Nu voi avea niciodată curajul să distrug atâta frumusețe. Voi spune că te-am ucis, dar trebuie să-mi promiți că nu te vei mai întoarce niciodată la castel. Numai așa îți poți salva viața.
Vă mulțumesc, domnule! Nu mă voi mai întoarce niciodată! Promit!
Noroc bun!
Vânătorul îi duse reginei inima unui mistreț, făcând-o să creadă că este albă ca zăpada, și fu fericită.
Na, te
Era
uiți?
prea frumoasă albă.
Da. Da. Îi se părea că toți copacii au gheare. Noaptea singură în pădure, îți dai seama ce frică i-a fost. Uite.
Nu mai pot să merg. Sunt obosită. Se vede o lumină.
Desene.
Nu, lasă cum.
Da, desene.
Acasă? Nu e nimeni?
Maxi.
Desene animate lumea copiilor. Desene animate lumea copiilor.
Masa este pregătită cu 7 farfurii, 7 furculițe, 7 cuțite și 7 pahare. Cu foamea pe care o am la vedere atâtor bunătăți îmi lasă gura apă. Știu că n-ar trebui, dar o să gust puțin de tot.
Ai sfârșit acasă? Am sfârșit acasă! Cineva a stat pe scaunul meu. Și cineva a mâncat ce mâncarea din farfuria mea. Cineva a pâinica! Și cine mi-a mâncat toată salata? Cineva a folosit furculițul meu. Cuțitul meu este bun. Și barul meu cu vin este pe jumătate gol. Uiți, cineva doarme în pătuțul meu. Cine este? Cine știe, dar este o copilă nemaipomenit de frumoasă. Ce facem cu ea? Cele cu ți-a pare să fie foarte obosită, poate e mai bine să o lăsăm să se odihnească.
Următoarea zi.
Uite.
Unde sunt? Ah, vai, da, sunt într-o casă din pădure.
Bună ziua! Ai dormit bine?
Este casa voastră?
Da, noi locuim în pădure și lucrăm în mină. Acolo sunt pietre care strălucesc de parcă ar fi din aur și din argint.
Deci căsuța în care am dormit e a voastră.
Tocmai, dar de cum te-ai ajuns până aici?
Am fugit din cauza mamei mele vitrege.
Mama mea vitrege! Mama ta vitrege este o femeie fără inimă. Iată copilă.
Și acum nu mai am o casă și nu știu unde să mă duc.
Nu ne-ai spus cum te cheamă, frumoasă copilă.
Numele meu este Albă ca zăpada.
Albă ca zăpada! E un nume frumos și original și ți se potrivește.
Mulțumesc.
Albă ca zăpada, dacă îți place să trăiești în pădure, ai putea rămâne aici cât vrei. Vei găti pentru noi? Ne vei ajuta la spălatul ofelor. Vei putea coase pentru noi. Pe scurt, vei putea avea grijă de noi.
Vă mulțumesc.
Aha, îți place, fain și frumos, hă? Iar vrei să... Da. Vezi? Foarte frumoasă.
Mă simt mai bine.
Nu, nu este normal că nu e frumos. Foarte frumos.
Oglinjoară, spune cine este cea mai frumoasă din țară.
Ai văzut? Uite aici ce-o trimis.
Regina mea, tu ești cea mai frumoasă între zidurile acestui castel, dar în adâncul pădurii trăiește Albă ca zăpada, care este de 1000 de ori mai frumoasă.
Ce-ai spus? Este imposibil. Albă ca zăpada a fost ucisă de vânător. Trebuie să fie astfel că ciuglinda nu mă poate minți. Bine, este clar că vânătorul m-a înșelat. În acest caz o voi înlătura chiar eu pe Albă ca zăpada.
Ha, ha.
Te rog, Albă ca zăpada, ferește-te de regina cea rea! Dacă vrăjitoarea aia ar afla că locuiește aici, ar putea veni să te caute pentru a-ți face rău? Locul cel mai înțelept este să nu deschizi niciodată nimănui ușa.
Bine!
Bine.
Materiale, materiale frumoase și prețioase. Veniți să vedeți cât de frumoase sunt materialele pe care vi le-am adus.
Bună! Cred că a trebuit să mergeți mult pentru a ajunge până aici.
Oh, nu mi este greu să merg pentru a ajunge la copile frumoase ca tine. Nu vrei să arunci o privire la materiale scumpă?
Ah, nu, eu...
Calitatea mărfii mele este foarte rafinată, știi?
Bătrânica asta mi se pare cinstită. O voi invita în casă doar pentru un minut.
Bine, mulțumim, scumpa mea. Acum, întoarce-te ca să-ți iau măsurile. Uite, materialul acesta prețios ți se potrivește. Acum stând încet până când nu vei mai putea respira. Și atunci eu voi fi cea mai frumoasă din regat.
Iată albă ca zăpada. Acea bătrânică inofensivă nu era alta decât perfida mamă vitregă travestită.
Biata albă ca zăpadă nu mai respiră. Trebuie să facem ceva.
Unde e bătrâna cu materialele?
Albă ca zăpadă, persoana pe care o cauți nu era o bătrânică, ci mamă ta vitregă, venită pentru a te ucide. Noi ți-am spus să te ferești de regina cea rea.
Na, tu ce faci? N-ai răbdare.
Bine. Oglinda dorinței mele, spune-mi cine e cea mai frumoasă din împărăție.
O, regina mea, între pereții castelului tău tu ești cea mai frumoasă, dar în adâncul pădurii albă ca zăpada continuă să fie de 1000 de ori mai frumoasă decât tine.
Blestemata albă ca zăpada, norocul a ajutat-o din nou. Piepteni, cine vrea un pieptene?
Regina Cearea reveni în pădure travestită în bătrânică, vânzătoare de piepteni, pentru a încerca încă o dată să o ucidă pe albă ca zăpada. Avea un aspect atât de liniștitor, încât fata o lăsă să intre în casă în ciuda recomandărilor primite din partea piticilor.
Acum îți aranjez părul cu unul dintre prietenii mei. Dar cu un pieptene muiat în venin.
Trezește-te, albă ca zăpadă! Răspunde, te rog!
Din fericire, piticul îi desprinse pieptenele din păr înainte ca veninul să aibă timp să o ucidă. Dar albă ca zăpada încă nu învățase lecția.
O, regina mea, între pereții castelului tău tu ești întotdeauna cea mai frumoasă, dar în adâncul pădurii albă ca zăpada continuă să fie de 1000 de ori mai frumoasă decât tine.
Este posibil, fata asta mă va nebuni. Dar de asta, dacă albă ca zăpada nu vei mai putea fi salvată de mine și vei muri.
Stai să vedem, hai. Că tu știi foarte, foarte bine, știi și tu și eu
Ia să
știu.
vedem puțin ce anume spune această carte de magie. Trebuie să iau urechi de lilia, coadă de jopârlă și petală de trandafir roz. La urmă adaug în poțiune puțină miere.
În anii 60 s-a inventat colorul.
Am făcut-o! Cu poțiunea asta voi elimina în sfârșit pe albă ca zăpada de pe fața pământului! Felicioasele mele, veniți să cumpărați de la mine mere roșii și frumoase! Nu este nimeni în casa asta care să vrea să cumpere mere?
Eu! Dar stăpânii acestei case mi-au recomandat să nu deschid nimănui.
Păcat, căci
Ce păstulică faci.
Ce mere frumoase! Aș vrea să gust.
De fapt, pentru că mi-ești foarte simpatică, ți-l fac cadou. Ia pe fereastră.
Dar, sincer, nu aș putea accepta nimic de la nimeni.
Ești atât de suspicioasă, așa că nu meriți darul meu. Acum pleci și nu voi mai reveni niciodată prin părțile astea. Adio!
Nu, scuză-mă! Așteaptă!
Fata mea, vrei să-mi explici ce anume te preocupă? Probabil te tem că mărul ăsta este otrăvit. Este cu adevărat delicios. Este cel mai bun măr pe care l-am mâncat vreodată. Ai văzut? Am luat-o cu năstrană și nu am pățit nimic. Acum poți mânca
ca și tu. Haide, fetiță, ia, nu te teme.
O gură nu-mi va face nimic.
Ha! Albă ca zăpadă.
Da, da, vezi?
Știam că-mi vei cere să cuși și am pus o travă în partea roșie.
Din păcate de asta dată, oricât au încercat piticii, oricât s-au rugat, albă ca zăpada nu s-a mai trezit. Dar copila, deși nemișcată, nu își pierduse frumusețea. Mai degrabă părea că doarme. De aceea piticii au hotărât să o închidă într-un sicriu din cristal, astfel încât toți să o poată admira.
O, regina mea, cea mai frumoasă femeie din regat ești tu.
Bineînțeles, căci pasiunea mea romantică mă face pe albă ca zăpada să doarme totdeauna și dacă cineva o atinge va avea același sfârșit. Nimeni nu-și va risca viața pentru un salvă de prostuța asta mică.
Din acea zi tristă, piticii făceau cu schimbul zi și noapte pentru a supraveghea sicriul frumoasei albă ca zăpadă. Trecu mult timp, dar frumusețea copilei nu începuse să se ofilească cu trecerea anotimpurilor. Până când, într-o bună zi, un prinț care se rătăcise prin pădure trecu din întâmplare pe lângă acel coșciuc din cristal.
Stai, că piciorul meu amorțește. Așa am
Ce frumusețe uimitoare! Spune-mi, cine este?
Ferecuța se numește albă ca zăpada.
Albă ca zăpada. Nu-mi închipuiam că există copile atât de frumoase. Încă pare vie. Dar ce s-a întâmplat? Te rog, explică-mi.
Regina cea de-aia a dat să mănânce un măr otrăvit.
Un măr otrăvit? Câtă cruzime! Plânge. Aș dori ca de acum încolo să am eu grijă de albă ca zăpada.
Nu, nimeni nu poate să o ia pe albă ca zăpada, indiferent cât de mult vrea să plătească, ai înțeles?
E de neprețuit.
Ai văzut? Ai văzut? Puiuță.
Am văzut-o pe albă ca zăpada și am rămas fermecat. Vă rog, sunt dispus să fac orice. Da, chiar și cu prețul vieții mele. Aș vrea să neutralizez o travă care a adormit-o.
Interesul său față de biata albă ca zăpada pare să fie sincer. Ne pare a fi un tânăr cu inimă bună, așa că în unanimitate am decis să avem încredere și să-ți încredințăm destinul copilei noastre albă ca zăpada.
Mulțumiri, mii de mulțumiri. Voi încerca să o salvez și încă o dată mulțumesc.
Sper că te vei întoarce repede cu albă ca zăpada, să ne revedeți.
Ce se întâmplă?
Trebuie că este ceva legat de vraja mărului otrăvit.
Nu mă tem. Nimic nu mă va putea împiedica să o iubesc pe albă ca zăpada.
Bietul prinț.
Albă ca zăpada.
Repede, vino cu noi să ne depozim, haide, vino, vino. Nu, pe albă ca zăpada.
Să vedem ce se întâmplă. Ha? O scapă sau ce?
Spirit rău, înfruntă-mă dacă ai curaj și află că o voi trezi pe albă ca zăpada chiar cu prețul vieții mele.
Fii atent, prințe! Metalul atrage fulgerele! Aruncă-ți spada repede!
Prințul a fost lovit. Acum cine o va salva pe albă ca zăpada?
Dar nu era totul pierdut. Iubirea sinceră a prințului făcu miracolul să fie posibil.
Ai văzut?
Te-ai trezit. O, albă ca zăpada, te
Te simți bine?
Dar cine ești tu?
Ce faci?
Pentru a-și ispăși acțiunile ticăloase, soldații o făcură să încalțe o pereche de pantofi din metal încins și apoi o puseră să danseze până când se prăbuși istomită. Între timp, nunta se terminase și, în acea zi, Albă ca zăpada și prințul ei trăiră fericiți și mulțumiți.
Prăjitură, rețete culinare, desert, prăjitură albă ca zăpada. Ha? Na, hai să dăm drumul, că ne uităm la minte. Mai scrie acolo sau nu mai scrii? Trebuie să scrii sau nu? Decidi cartea? Care? Povești fantastice sau care? Povești fantastice sau cartea mea cu povești? Scrie cartea mea cu povești. Frumos! Și de desubt scrii cu, aici mai scrii cu și de desubt scrii povești.
Description can distort memory, as seen in a number of various experiments. There is one study where participants watched a video of two cars colliding. Researchers told one group that those two cars hit each other, while the other group was told that the cars
Scrisă de că n-avem, cu ilustrații de, hai să vedem cine a făcut ilustrațiile, să vedem dacă scrie. Cartea mea, ce scrie aici, Maxi? Design, așa, în Spania, editura Grimsol pentru prezentare versiunea românească, cu una chiarnă, așa, deci design Marcela Grez, ilustrații, uite, Javier, uite cum scrie aici, ilustrații, de scrie aici, Javier, scrie acolo Javier,
According to an experiment conducted in the mid-70s,
și mai cum?
college students were asked to unscramble a series of anagrams during a 5-minute period. Even if there was no chance of them finishing all the puzzles during that
Foarte bine.
the participants were told to stop working.
Și scrie mâine mai departe. Acum uită-te, vezi, așa, uită-te la asta.
Some of them did the work in front of the mirror.
Sigur că da, ne uităm mâine și mai...
What happened was only 7% of the ones who looked in front of a mirror cheated, compared to 71% from the other group. It seems that when people consider behaving badly, the mirrors sort of become their moral police, watching what they do. So this affects the way they act. Where do you like to study? Do you have a regular place in the library, or do you go to different places? Well, the space where you study might have an effect on what you can remember. Fact, information can be processed as slowly as 0.5 meters per second, or as fast as 120 meters per second. When colors and shades are mixed together, the effects can be really pleasing to the eye. Not only that, it can also result in some spectacular effects. Look at these two merged images, for example. You will see an animation of two pairs of concentric ring arrays. The blue rings will move a little, and then you will notice the blue over the green rings creates this effect. It's as if there are curved dark bands. These are known as moires in French. Because the two patterns are superimposed, light has to pass both of them
This means there is a multiplication of two transmittance values, and a multiplication of patterns that have the same spatial frequencies results to the appearance of different frequencies. It's fascinating to see how two seemingly simple patterns can create such an effect. You want to keep looking at it to figure out how it does that. Look at this image of a bike. It has two gray wheels, right? Now, fix your gaze at the green cross across the center. Okay, hold it there. So, did you see the wheels disappear? Then after a few seconds, they reappeared, right? This is an effect of contrast adaptation. During the flicker phase, the high contrast shifts the contrast transfer function to the right. Then, the small luminance step of the contour that defines the wheels becomes sub-threshold. In other words, we lose sight of the wheels for a bit. This type of contrast is not how our eyes see it, but a response to our primary visual cortex. So it's not what our eyes don't see, it's what our brain recognizes. Here is another example of contrast differences in images. Look at this set of images. Focus on the center of the pair, where there is an X. So just to be clear, the left image is blurred, and the right image has high contrast. Now, look at this next pair of images. Look at the contrast of both images. After the change, you will initially see a high contrast on the left, and on the right, a slightly less contrast image. The effect is only for a few seconds. Then, you end up noticing that the two images are actually identical. When our eyes are exposed to varying contrasts, we tend to misinterpret their sharpness. We can also see sizes and shapes differently when they are in different shades. Take a look at the top and bottom squares for their brightness. They look equal, right? Now, let's remove the red bars. Because of the different context, the squares do not look equal anymore. A simple change in shade, light, or contrast is enough to alter what we see. In fact, while awake, the brain generates between 10 and 23 watts of power, enough energy to power a light bulb.
Ai văzut? Că avem energie în noi? Ai văzut?
An entrance is a door to go inside a place. An exit is a door to go outside. Sounds simple enough, right? Being inside or outside is not that simple when it comes to isometric illusions. Two-dimension images on a flat surface can actually be made to seem like three-dimensional visuals. This deception is used to depict real, solid objects in spatial relationships that are achievable by our sensory experience. This method can also be used to create images of spatial relationships that are impossible in the three-dimensional world. Examples of this illusion are ordinary perspective renderings of solid 3D objects or scenes. But when you take a closer look, you will find internal contradictions in that three-dimensional scene which cannot exist in reality. When we are used to seeing images on flat surfaces, such as paper, canvas, or photographs, this type of image is certainly a breath of fresh air. Isometric illusory art was created as early as 1934 by a Swedish artist named Oscar Rudesvard with this image of impossible blocks. These are not the original colors of the image. This design has actually been replicated many times, and it has even appeared on Swedish postage stamps. Isometric drawings show parallel lines as parallel on the flat page, even if they are tilted according to the viewer's point of view. An object that is tilted away from the viewer by some angle will look the same as if it were tilted toward the viewer by the same angle. To understand this better, let's look at this tilted rectangle with twofold ambiguity. Another example is this image of an open book. It seems that the pages are facing you. Then again, it also seems as if the spine is facing you. It can be described as two symmetric parallelograms that are side by side and lying on a plane. Here's another example. Look at this design which looks like three faces of a string of cubes. You can interpret them as being seen from the inside or the outside. In fact, if you try, you can even see them alternating. When some parts are blackened, it enhances the illusion. The black parallelograms on the top can either appear as from the to see each of them alternate from left to right. There are some illusions that show ambiguous connectivity, or disconnectivity rather, in line drawings. Look at this timed fork, for instance. This is called Schuster's conundrum, or devil's fork. Here's another version of the musical tuning fork. Look at the different perspectives and vanishing points. Fact, a yawn works to send more oxygen to the brain, therefore working to cool it down and wake it up.
Ne facem mai atent.
Visual game
Găsește diferența.
You are given two seemingly identical images.
Da,
And
te
you're
uiți?
supposed to find out what
Îți
is
place?
between the two pictures. Here, let's try it right now. Were you able to see all the differences?
Am
This
găsit
game is
una.
actually a very good brain exercise. There are many parts of the brain involved in this process. For one, to identify the objects you see, you are using your occipital lobes. This is what is working when you are trying to look for certain things, changes, or nuances in an image. You also have to analyze the spatial
Am
relationship
găsit doar
between the
doi.
objects that
Da,
you see.
pentru că nu sta destul de
This
mult ca
requires
să
your
ne uităm
occipital
la toate.
and parietal lobes. Then, of course, you would have to remember what you see in one picture and compare it with the other picture. In this case, you are using your short-term memory. This process involves your frontal and parietal
Vrei să ai
lobes.
dinții. Ai grijă de ei.
Finally, you have to mark down the locations where you see a difference. This
Stai jos
gives you
acolo
a
dacă vrei pe pernă.
for the movement. Why don't we put your brain to the test again? Spot the differences between these two photos. We'll give you 30 seconds to find all the differences.
Na,
Una.
creangă,
Treanga. Două.
două are acolo barele.
Barele. Trei.
Da.
Uh,
Norinu. Malu, da. E altfel malu. Creanga, da, ai
Mind games
văzut.
like Spot the Difference are a fun way to develop our brain. It can sharpen our logical thinking skills, attentiveness, concentration,
Da.
focus, and decision making. It
Așa
also
e.
helps us become more patient.
Răbdător.
You might be wondering why even our brain needs some exercise. Well, the human brain starts slowing as early as age 30. Fortunately, we can help speed it up and improve our basic cognitive abilities, no matter what our age is.
Exact,
We also need to
indiferent de
avoid
vârstă.
high levels of anxiety.
De-aia trebuie să folosim creierașul. Vezi de ce spune bunicul? Ai
It
văzut?
also waste our limited mental energy. Our brain should always be able to learn and to adapt to new environments.
Categoric.
So what we should do is
Așa
take on
este.
new challenges that are not extremely difficult.
Ai văzut de ce îți spune bunii? Pune mintea la contribuție, Maxi, nu băga degetele în gură. De-aia îți spune bunii. Facem matematică, ne punem mintea la contribuție.
60% of the human brain and is responsible for language and consciousness. Are you good at keeping secrets? What about seeing secret images? Thanks to your brain, you can see hidden images beyond what you see in a picture. See this picture of flowers, for instance? Can you see a face?
It's a face of a woman.
The butterfly is her nose. The stem is the outline of her face, and the leaves are her eyes and eyebrow. What about this other one? At first glance, you see a man with a beard and a mustache. Then again, when you take a second look, you see a man riding a horse and a person lying on the floor. The way we perceive these individual stimuli as a meaningful whole can be explained by Gestalt organization. Gestalt is German for form or shape. The brain tries to see familiar simple objects and attempts to create a whole image from these individual elements. It can switch back and forth from the foreground and background, making these hidden images visible from one perspective. The Gestalt principles of perception affect the way we group different images and objects. Good form, continuity, proximity, and similarity are some of the Gestalt principles. Another form of hidden images is called tessellations. These can be attributed to a Dutch artist named M.C. Escher, who was born in 1898. Some of Escher's artworks include tessellating shapes of fish, dogs, crabs, and other animals. One more type of illusion that has secret images is called the stereogram. Stereograms are three-dimensional images that have hidden images within a picture. To view the image, you have to stare at the picture until it starts to take shape. Let's try it with this image.
Văd o femeie și o altă.
Here's another one.
Oh! Văd văd o animație. Și...
Were you able to see the hidden images? Actually, some people have a hard time seeing them. Your eyes have to work together as a coordinated team in order to do so. If you're having trouble, you might have some glitches in your binocular or two-eyed vision, or your stereo vision. Stereo vision is when you see two slightly different views from your eyes and are combined by the brain. Sometimes one eye is dominant because visual stimulation transmits poorly, or not at all. Or it could be astigmatism or cataract. If you think you have a problem with stereo vision, you can get your eyes tested to check. Maybe they'll let you stare at some stereograms as a test. Maybe we think we have total control of all our decisions based on the things we interpret or encounter. But sometimes our brain can make its own decisions for us as a result of its relationship with our eyes. It's fun to learn that there are various ways to manipulate our views, and sometimes we can hardly believe our eyes. Who knew all it takes for a few tricks to alter our perception? The more we discover, the more we learn. So until next time on MindWorks, keep your eyes wide open for anything that seems odd or out of the ordinary. this series, experience visual and audio illusions, sensory puzzles, and brain tricks from the worlds of art, science, nature, and psychology, and learn why they baffle our senses. Let's explore how our mind works. How much do you trust your vision? Would you say that it is pretty accurate, or is it incomplete? Unconscious inference, or unconscious conclusion, is part of a theory on visual perception that says that human vision is incomplete, and details are inferred by the unconscious mind to create a complete picture. It's like our brains are adapting to the loss, and it is filling in the blanks, sort of like connecting the dots. This was acknowledged by a German researcher named Hermann von Helmholtz. This theory implies that the human vision is incomplete, and that details are inferred by the unconscious mind to create a complete picture. The brain sometimes makes assumptions from the eye's perception, and these are called motion and depth perception. At times, we believe we see trees or buildings shimmering or moving, or mountains and structures may seem closer than they really are. One example Helmholtz made was the illusion of the sun rotating around the Earth. He said every evening before our eyes, the sun goes down behind the stationary horizon, although we are well aware that the sun is fixed and the horizon moves. Optical illusions may show us a form of unconscious inference, but this can also affect our perceptions of people. Helmholtz's second example discusses theatrical performance. He said that the strong emotional effect of a play results mainly in the viewer's inability to doubt the visual impressions made by the unconscious inference. For instance, an actor who plays an old man is an old man on stage for the audience, as long as they do not forcibly recall that the program shows that the old man is really portrayed by a young man. They are affected by the emotions he conveys. Another example is how even just the sight of a person is enough to make you feel something without any reasonable basis at all. Have you ever felt this way?
Da.
You either feel really angry or happy.
Ne poate face furios sau fericit.
According to Helmholtz, the formation of visual impressions is achieved by unconscious judgments, which even if we try, we cannot control. Helmholtz said that we form our expectations on the world around us without any idea that it is occurring. We see objects in the distance, and it seems we immediately see the distance. What happens is that we rely on cues from our eye muscles and from our past experiences of distant objects to guide us. These sensations become so habitual, which is why we don't notice them. So remember, if there's something your eyes fail to see, your mind can fill in those blanks for you. Fact, the average human being blinks their eyes about 20,000 times a day. That's a single day. Are your eyes tired yet?
De 20.000 de ori.
Îmi înregistrez toate clipurile ca să vezi de câte ori am clipesc. Eu zi într-o nouă de dimineața până seara.
Ai de capul meu, tu îți dai seama cum ar trebui să numărăm. Da. Au fost alții. Uite. Hai să vedem.
Before we show it to you, take a look at the faces on this video.
These are normal faces.
They look like pretty normal faces, right?
Yeah.
Now, let's view the exact same video again, but this time, look at the plus sign on the center of the screen. Use your peripheral vision to look at the faces.
Nu înțeleg ce vrea. Știi?
So what did you see? those faces weren't exactly what you would call attractive, right?
Da.
You will notice that they will seem to